The 17-year-old from Whitehorse, Yukon, former first overall pick in the WHL draft, making perhaps his only venture to Everett in his WHL career. Harrison Mennigan will be in goal for the Tigers. Mennigan, the Tampa Bay Lightning 7th rounder. He enters tonight's contest with a 12-8-0 record, a .249 goals against average, and a .901 save percentage. We're getting ready for the presentation of the nation's colors and the playing of the national anthems. Here now is the voice of Angel of the Winds Arena, Greg Pyland.
For the singing of O Canada and the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome Silvertip fan favorite, Michael Sarcoli.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. And from far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you.
The first period of Everett Silvertips hockey is brought to you by Tulalip Resort Casino, Washington's premier destination for luxurious accommodations and casino entertainment. And we welcome all of you listening both on KRKO and for those watching free on the CHL app and on the WHL YouTube channel. Hello to everybody in the chat. We're so happy that you could join us here for a clash in the best on best. The Western Conference leading Everett Silvertips against the Eastern Conference leading Medicine Hat Tigers. Casey Bryant here for the Everett Silvertips Radio Network as the Tips starting out on skating left to right on your CHL screens. On defense, Ducks third rounder Terrence Smith with Kraken fifth rounder Caden Hamill. Tyler McKenzie with Dominic Raymond and Kane Wilkie up front. Jesse Sancha in goal. For the Medicine Hat Tigers, Oasis Weisblatt centers Ryder Ritchie and Gavin McKenna. Tanner Molendijk on defense with Josh Van Mulligan. And Harrison Mennigan in the cage. Puck is dropped and away we go as McKenna flicks the puck into the near side corner of the Silvertips end. Caden Hamill is pressured. Weisblatt throws a hit. Van Mulligan trying to keep it into the offensive zone. It's one-handed away by Dominic Raymond, who carries up the right side. The check overager into the near side corner takes the check from McKenna, leaving the puck for the former Tigers captain and Tyler McKenzie. Stolen away by the Tigers in their road white sweaters with black and orange striping. Puck deflects up into the Medicine Hat bench and out of play. 30 seconds in, the Medicine Hat Tigers have had pretty good fortunes against the Silvertips these last couple of seasons. They have won 4 of the last 5 matches. In the all-time regular season series, the Silvertips are 9-10-0 against the Tigers. Neutral zone faceoff is won by the Tigers on the right wing. It is Matthew Ward pushing the puck into the left side. Hunter St. Martin lowers his shoulder against Landon DuPont. Rolling puck far wing. Carter Bear closes it out on the backhand. Ward will steal, looking to throw it towards the slot off a skate into the near side corner. Racing forward along the near wall is Pacheco. Leaves it along the boards. Eric Jamieson tries to kiss it off the glass. Takes a wonky bounce off a stanchion. Left aside for Medhat. Out to the near point where Jonas Wu, who was a game-time decision tonight. He is confirmed in the lineup with Tyson Moss as the late scratch. Skated away by DuPont, and up the right side, the 18-year-old Jesse Heslop lifts it into the near corner as the Silvertips will go for an early change. Holding on the left wing in front of his own bench and whacking it in deep is McCann for the Tigers. Round behind the net, Pierce over for Liskey. Over to Lucas Kaplan on the left side in front of the penalty box doors. Taking the check is Väisänen. VT Väisänen taking a heavy hit. Jostled free by the Tigers, moved over to the left wing side. And a big hit thrown by Pierce as the puck deflects up into the bench and out of play. Sometimes the one-off matches are often the ones that draw the most ire and the most physicality. And the Tigers are in the midst of a long swing at present. Last night, 5-2 victors over the Wenatchee Wild. The Silvertips, meanwhile, coming off of a week where they played 4 games in 5 days, had Monday off, practiced shortly yesterday, and geared up for another busy week. This is the start of a 4-5 with travel for the Silvertips. A tough stretch as McCann touches the puck offside for the Tigers. And we'll get a whistle. 1:40 gone by in the first period. As we take a look between the pipes with the plumbing physician at Jesse Saunch, the netminder for the Silvertips tonight. 5-1-0 in his last 6 starts with a .938 save percentage and a .183 goals against average. He's 18-4-2 on the season. He has put up some stellar numbers as the Silvertips win the draw in the neutral zone. Pass looking for Kaplan is through his legs, funneled over to the far side. Väisänen tips it into the Silvertip zone. Jackson Vaughn reaching for it. He takes a hit and a puck. Once more, hops up into the benches out of play as Vaughn comes together with Muhonen. Jackson Vaughn, the resident pugilist for the Everett Silvertips, acquired via trade earlier in the season from the Regina Pats back on November the 16th for 19-year-old forward Caden Brown and a first-round pick in this coming year's WHL draft. He hops to the bench. He's replaced by the line of Mackenzie Raymond and Wilkie. Steve Hamilton juggling the lines a little bit as the Silvertips continue to struggle a bit in the health department. Faceoff is won by the Tips into their own zone. Caden Hamill is pressured by McKenna. Round behind the net, it's held over to the far corner for Ryder Ritchie. Cycles for McKenna. Crosses to the near side point, Molendijk. Shot through traffic. Partially blocked into the far corner. McKenna will hold. Turnover at the blue line. Chipped ahead for Caden Hamill on a partial breakaway. Hamill is in on Mennigan and a leg pad save into the far corner. Hamill gets it back along the far wing. Drops it to Smith, who cycles it around the boards. And the Silvertips head to the bench for a partial change as Oasis Weisblatt protects from an oncoming Raymond. Boy, Caden Hamill slipping in and taking a chance defensively. He steals in his own end. Well, the Silvertip blue liner has been active, skating into the offensive zone. Is up the left side. Shea Bush will meander forth for the Silvertips. Bush is rocked up against the boards. Long shot by DuPont is punched down by Mennigan. Into the far corner, Jamieson bounces off a body. And skated out by the Tigers, Gavin McKenna. And McKenna crosses the opposing blue line and will loop over towards the boards, and he'll go for a change. As around behind the net, battling for the puck is Ward, thrown in front off a stick. Clark Schaefer trying to clear, glove down, and held into the zone by Jonas Wu. Around the chute to the far wall, cleared away by the Silvertips. 3:15 into the first period. Jonas Wu, the former Winnipeg Ice and Wenatchee Wild skater, no stranger to this building, having visited here many times as a member of the U.S. Division's newest member. Carter Bear leaves it on the left wing. Starting forward, Cole Temple lowers his shoulder, has it poked away from him by Väisänen. Hard hit around behind the net. Good check by Jonas Wu. That knocks a man down, and slow to get up is Jesse Heslop as he was crunched into the upper half, and he seems to be favoring his left side a bit as Cole Temple loses control, and Väisänen will settle. Väisänen, the Utah Hockey Club third rounder, looking up the right wing off the heel of the stick of Liskey Into the far corner, Ryland Pierce maneuvers it up for Bear. Rink wide, hits Jackson Vaughn in stride. Vaughn in with Temple, edging to his right, shoots it behind the net. Breck Liskey swooping in the far side. Liskey separated from the puck. Medicine Hat will take possession as Vicenen moves it over to the far side circles. Played to the neutral zone and shot in deep as the Tigers go to work. First to get there over on the far wall is Ethan Newtons as he's on with Misha Volotovsky. Couple of trade acquisitions for this Tigers team that has been very busy in the trade market these last couple of seasons. Trying to build a team that is ready for not just an Ed Chenoweth Cup, but they had hopes of a Memorial Cup host bid for next year. One out to Kelowna. Turnover far boards, looking for a pass down low and a shot deflects wide. But the window is wide open for the Medicine Hat Tigers, and a division that is sure to be a gauntlet for the rest of the season. Around behind the net, holding onto it is Molendijk. Dishing it over to the near side, and a long shot by Ruck is gloved down by Jesse Sanch. And we've reached the first media timeout already. As we are scoreless here at Angel of the Winds Arena, we'll take a quick break. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything. So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Face-off won by the Medicine Hat Tigers, and a turnaround shot as a kick save made by Sanch. The buzzer sounded and the doors started to open, and the referees even gestured the goalies to the benches, but a bit over-eager on the media timeout 5 minutes into the first. Caught me by surprise. I thought I was wrong, which I am frequently. Into the near corner around behind the Medicine Hat net. Played up the left wing side, and holding on to it is Ruck up into the air, met by Clark Schaefer, pushed into the Medicine Hat bench, and we'll get a whistle. 5:28 gone by in the first period. Well, the Medicine Hat Tigers riding a 10-game heater into tonight's contest, including 3 wins already under their belts on this U.S. Division swing. And they have gotten some terrific offensive contributions, particularly from the line hitting the ice right now. And Weisblatt with Ritchie and McKenna. Gavin McKenna, who is closing in on 200 career points, only 6 away from the double century mark. As Kane Wilkie motions the puck into the offensive zone around behind the net. Mennigan paddles in the trapezoid off the glass, pinching in his Hamill, uses his hips to knock it down. Here's McKenzie reaching for it, joined by Raymond along the near boards, battling with Weisblatt. McKenzie digs it free, over to the near circle. Raymond hauled down, gets it towards the crease, and it's turned away by Mennigan. Raymond losing his footing, and from his knees was able to get a nice look towards Mennigan. And out with it from his own zone, Vicenen will loft it up into the air. It lands far corner. Terrence Smith protecting. Over for his defensive partner, Hamill. Has Weisblatt bearing down on him. Exit pass finds McKenzie. Racing forward with Heslop. McKenzie for Heslop, right wing on his backhand. Trying to get it net front, and it rolled off his stick. Pinching in is DuPont. DuPont thrown in front, out of reach of Heslop, and skating away with it. A partial breakaway for Ward. Exit passes just ahead of him, and Sanch will take the gutsy effort and get it out to the neutral zone. DuPont crossing for Heslop. He's in transition. Heslop for DuPont near circles. Back to the net. Rolls it to the near corner for Heslop. 6:40 gone by in the opening period. Scoreless here in Everett. As Gavin McKenna loops in front of his own net. Pushes it rink wide as the Tigers need a partial unit change. Molendijk in his own end. Up ice on the right wing. Exit pass is broken up. Here's Cole Temple racing in for the tips. A drop pass intercepted. A bit of a miscommunication on the part of the tips. Here's a good hit thrown by Jameson as he forces Hunter St. Martin off the puck. DuPont, nice stretch pass off the toe of Jackson Vaughn's stick. It lands in the crease. And now Farilskis will have the media timeout. 7 minutes, 11 seconds into the first period. Scoreless in Everett on Everett's Greatest Hits and on Wednesday night in the Dub.
It's the most important document you'll ever hold. When people read it for the first time and start asking questions, they're usually shocked, in disbelief. For example, this evening, homemade meatloaf dinner, just like Mom used to make, with garlic toast and your choice of 2 sides. Just $11.99. Yes, it's hard to believe, but seeing is believing. So head to one of the 12 Buzz-In steakhouses. Once you see their menu and taste their food, you'll smile from ear to ear. BuzzInSteakhouse.com.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything. So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network. Offensive zone draw for the Tips is one and looped around behind the net for Jackson Vaughn, carrying over to the far wing. Spun towards the net and just past the stick of Lucas Kaplan. Funneled out to St. Martin, racing ahead on the left wing side. He avoids Pierce, caroms into the near corner. Good hard hit thrown on Vaughn. Wraparound try by St. Martin, just rolled off his blade. Over to the far wing as Kaplan protects, and St. Martin will head back to the neutral zone, allowing Pierce some space. Played ahead for Vaughn, who flips it towards the net, and it will be covered up by Harrison Mennigan, and he will freeze. And taking a look at Harrison Mennigan's season, a bit tumultuous to start as he missed November 20th all the way to January 10th, coming over in a trade at the beginning of the year from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. But since coming back from that injury, Mennigan 5-0 with a paltry 1.18 goals against average and a .940 save percentage, including a shutout in the mix. Faceoff is won by Medicine Hat and carried ahead by Caden McCann, the 17-year-old from Cochrane. Up into the air, it's gloved down by Sanchi, keeps it moving. Smith looking to exit for Bush. One-hand effort looking for Schaefer on the right side. Bush will backhand it deep into the Medicine Hat zone. 8 minutes into the first period, no scoring so far. On the right wing, Molendijk keeping his legs churning over to the far side. Caden Hamill gets there first for Everett. Pushes for Schaefer left wing, unable to clear as McCann lifts it up into the air, and it flails into the stands, out of play. 8:15 into the first. Well, we saw a tremendous goalie duel on Sunday afternoon as Ryan Grout and Jesse Sanch went toe-to-toe, save for save. Both goaltenders facing 39 shots. Sanch stopped 38. And a 2-1 overtime win for the Tips over the Tri-City Americans. One would expect similar kind of styles tonight as Mennigan ranks as one of the strongest netminders as an overager in the WHL. Faceoff won by the Tips and played ahead for Raymond. Up with numbers to his left, McKenzie crosses the blue line, looking back for Raymond. It's broken up on the far wing by Van Mulligan. Raymond trying to center, stolen away by Medicine Hat. On the right wing, Liam Ruck up into the air, rolls it behind the net. Turnover, and Liam Ruck with a sharp angle shot. That misses the cage and funnels out into the neutral zone where Molendijk will retreat. Molendijk, one of many marquee acquisitions made at the trade deadline as the Central Division was wheeling and dealing. Landon DuPont in the near corner of his own end. Over for Jamieson. Up the heart of the ice. Heslop taps it to his right for Carter Bear. Bear slows up. Top of the near circles. Looking to drop. No one home. And it will be stolen back by Schaefer, Gordon Carroll, and skied into the air. Look out. Breakout for Heslop. He's in with Bear. Bear in front. Stops short. And he scores! Carter Bear tucks it home in the crease. And the Silvertips have struck first. Now the officiating crew will huddle because Harrison Mennigan came up with his arms outstretched. He wanted contact against Carter Bear. And Bear stopped short as he was trying to receive that pass from the far wing for Heslop. Take another look. Heslop has a defender in front of him, threads the needle, and Bear loses control of the puck for a moment, and Mennigan is trying to cut post to post. And we'll take a look at the level of contact. It might be enough. As Mennigan is cutting over to the near side, and he definitely takes a little bit of a shove from Bear, and this will require some extra attention as the officiating crew is signed by the Western Hockey League and presented by Silver Lake Eye Clinic. The referees are Corey Coop and Ward Pateman. The lines people are Braden Cameron and Michael McGowan. The goal judge is Norm Perkins. And there will be a lengthy huddle over by the penalty boxes as Ward and Hamill will await the respective decision. Now they will signal good goal. Is there any extended review? There is not. And we will beckon play onward with Carter Bear having netted his 33rd goal of the season. And the Silvertips have struck first. Now the referees still huddling for a moment. They have given their respective explanations to the head coaches Steve Hamilton and Willie Desjardins, and we are ready to resume play. 9:15 gone by in the first period, and the Silvertips lead it. Weisblatt carries in for Medicine Hat. Weisblatt looking to distribute back to the blue line, stolen away. Raymond up ahead with Liskey. Kane Wilkie on the right wing, long shot is gloved down by Mennigan, and he'll hang on, and Wilkie downed and stared at by Bryce Pickford. Pickford, no stranger to the Everett Silvertips, a longtime member of the Seattle Thunderbirds, acquired by a trade back on May 9th for a second, 2/3, and 2/5. In his Thunderbirds career, he played in 121 games, 35 points, 120 PIMs, and was a part, of course, of the 2023 Ed Chenoweth Cup champs that marched all the way to the Mem Cup final. Face-off won by the Tips. Raymond's shot is blocked and played over to the right wing. Out looking for McKenna, who steps past Hamill. McKenna on the left wing, spins with the puck, stationary near point, cuts to the slot. McKenna tied up by the stick of Raymond and lifted up and out. Well, this Silvertips team has done a very good job in their couple of matchups with Catton and Crystal with Spokane in suffocating, getting sticks in lanes, trying to halt the forward progress of some of the game's speediest, as a blast from the blue line is gloved down by Sanch, and we'll get a whistle halfway through the first. They will have a challenge such as that to the nth degree, perhaps, as McKenna ranks as one of the most special players to ever come through the Western Hockey League. Last season, 97 points in 61 games played. He is well on his way to shattering that mark. 79 points in 39 outings this season. This season, he's got 26 multi-point outings. He's only been held off the stat sheet 3 times all year. Face-off to the left of Sanch is won by Ward at the top of the circles. Pushed up the puck and carried ahead by DuPont. Looking to lead Kaplan into the offensive zone. Kaplan takes a heavy stick check from Weissenen. Left along the far side wall. Chasko over for Kaplan, far corner. Nolan Chasko spins it towards the net, and a stick save made by Mennigan. DuPont at the point, sails it towards the net. Toe save Mennigan. And that is pushed out to the neutral zone. DuPont crosses over to the far wing. Slides it ahead for Kaplan, finds Vaughn with space. Jackson Vaughn sends it wide. Funnels around the boards, chipped into the far corner. Vaughn will kick it back to himself. Vaughn with a chance that misses. Loose far post, Chasko swings and misses. And Vaughn plays it back to the blue line. Tips trying to keep it deep. Jamison around the chute. And a nice effort by that line, albeit one that doesn't quite hit the net in their last couple of opportunities. But Vaughn buzzing in the offensive end early. Picked up at the blue line, McCann. A delayed penalty. Interference will be going against Pacheco. 9:04 left in the first period. The Silvertips head to their first Engineered Sports power play. Silvertips to the man advantage, 25.7% success. That is 7th in the league, going up against the Medicine Hat penalty kill, which ranks in the top 10, 78.5%. And the Tips power play was able to break a lengthy home drought last Saturday against the Seattle Thunderbirds. Heading into that game, they were 0 for their last 18 at home. Against Seattle, 3 for 4. And a much-needed influx of goals, 2 of them coming off of this guy right here, Terrence Smith. Moves it over to his left from his own zone, into the Medicine Hat end, and rejected all the way back down by the stick of Marcus Ruck. Round behind the net, Anaheim Ducks third rounder, Terrence Smith. 2 goals, 2 assists in that Saturday clash against Seattle, lifted up into the air by DuPont. Into the near corner, protected by Pickford. Moved along the wall and slung out of the zone by Oasis Weisblatt. One of the best two-way players in the league, Weisblatt. Quick, strong, nasty. Up comes Heslop on the left wing. Crosses for Hamill into the offensive zone. Hamill with a shot that misses the mark over to the near post. Funnels out far point Jamison. As Heslop to his left finds him. Temple in the high slot. Back to the blue line. Jamison swaps spots with Hamill. Slid over to Heslop. Feeds Temple with a drive. That misses off the glass. Lively bounce off the boards. Out to the far side circle where Heslop turns away from Pickford. Wrapped up against the glass and cleared away by Medicine Hat. 45 seconds left in the penalty being served by Pacheco. Set beside the cage by Sanch. Jamison. Over to Temple on the left wing. Temple slides into the offensive zone. Looking for Heslop, cut off by Molendyke. And attempted clearance. Jamison slap past Hamill, high slot. His shot through traffic to flex off a Tiger stick up into the netting, out of play. 23 seconds left in the power play. 7:27 left in the period. Well, this Medicine Hat kill, highly effective. Partially because they have a very quick team and a very strong team. Before the game, Steve Hamilton heaped praise onto this Medicine Hat Tigers team for being predicated wholly on speed. In the first Wednesday night in the dub game, the Silvertips had the Lethbridge Hurricanes, a team that Coach Hamilton said was very stylistically similar to Everett, as a faceoff is won by the Tips but pushed out by the Tigers. He said it was more so for Medicine Hat, as there's a heavy hit. St. Martin is walloped against the glass by Hamill. To Aaron Smith through the neutral zone over to his left. Offsides is Raymond with 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Pacheco.
Lincoln is on the ground.
And a pretty healthy contingent here representing the Tigers. In the stands, a healthy dose of orange scattered around the lower bowl.
117, row 14, C18. Brian is tonight's season ticket holder of the night.
Neutral zone face-off in front of the penalty boxes where Pacheco is up on his feet, ready to rejoin his cohorts. Face-off won by Weisblatt. Round behind the net, McKenna will hold on. And out of the box, Pacheco. The Tigers 1 for 1 on the kill. And they'll go to work in the offensive zone. Weisblatt crisscrosses over to his left for Pacheco. As Molendyke back at the blue line. Stolen away by Temple. 3-on-2 if the Tips hurry. Temple crosses the blue line. Pass off the skates of Molendyke. Stolen by Weisblatt. He turns tail and heads up the right side. Entering in. Here's Weisblatt looking down low for Ritchie out of his reach. Thrown behind the net for McKenna. Ritchie pokes it to the far post. Swept away by Liskey. Out to the blue line. Molendyke gliding to his left. Pass down low for McKenna. Shovels it wide of the net. Lifting the stick is Temple. Unable to get it out. McKenna shifts his way to the near circle. Stepping in. A shot off the shoulder. Muhonen unleashed it. And Sanch got a big piece. Weisblatt crosses for Muhonen. To the near corner as the Tigers threatening. McKenna has it stolen away by Liskey. McKenna lost his stick in the process. Played over towards the far blue line. Tips not out yet. And now a lead pass finds Heslop on the left wing. Good clearance by Temple. And Heslop will slow up and bide some time as the Silvertips go for a change. 6 minutes left in the opening period. Played into the far corner. Caden McCann around behind the net. Jamison backhands it to the blue line. Vaughn chips it ahead. 3-on-1 for the Tips. Vaughn with Kaplan and Chasko. Vaughn snaps it wide. DuPont. Hard cross for Vaughn, left wing. Top of the circles. Trying to kick it down low. Stolen away by Med Hat. 5:35 left in the first period. 1-0 Silvertips thanks to Carter Bear's opening goal. Over to the near side. Bryce Pickford hanging on. Pickford finding Jonas Wu. Looping in front of the forechecking Nolan Chasko, one of the more unsung heroes of the Silvertips forecheck. As Chasko forces the errant pass, and it's played in deep. Chasko, who is someone that Coach Hamilton says earns zero respect around for grabbing headlines, garnering lots of points. Plays a very simple style, but he is a reliable player and has needed to be. As here's a steal for Schaefer, 2-on-1 against Molendyke. Here's Schaefer lowering his shoulder and driven into the end boards. Good back check by the fleet of foot Molendyke. Out towards center, held on by Ward as he is stripped of the puck by Terrence Smith. He enters in, drops it back for Bush, leans on a wrister. That's blocked into the far corner. Looking back to the point, too hot for Schaefer to handle. And it ricochets all the way back down towards Sanch's net, and that buys Josh Van Mulligan a time to catch his breath as he wore that in the boot, and he's laboring on his way back to the bench. Over to Liskey, right wing. Weisblatt reaching over into the neutral zone. Shea Bush backhands it deep into the Medicine Hat zone, and that is icing against the Silvertips with 4:19 remaining in the first period. Wednesday night in the dub, free on YouTube and the CHL app. You are listening to Sound Transit Silvertips Hockey on KRKO.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
Looking for new furniture? There's always a great selection at Erickson's. New styles, new colors, new looks, and always affordable prices. Erickson Furniture has just what you're looking for. In stock and on sale. Name brand furniture and mattresses, design services, and 5-star delivery. Let Erickson Furniture help you get the look you want for less, a lot less. Erickson Furniture in Everett at 2015 Broadway and online at ericksonfurniture.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. A hearty hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. We're scrolling and we're following along on the Silvertips Comms Network as a faceoff is won by Medicine Hat, and Molendijk throws it in front. So thanks for joining us here for the free game of the week Wednesday night in the Dub, one of the most exciting new ventures in major junior hockey. As Wilkie drops it back to Jamison, out through the neutral zone intended for McKenzie, and rejected by the Tigers as Weisblatt looks to his right for McKenna, played out towards center. Molendijk pursued by Raymond, protecting. Over to his right, McKenna tied up with Jamison in front of the box doors. McKenna slips by him, lead pass for Weisblatt. He's in on a breakaway. Weisblatt getting a piece of it, Sanch! Out to the far point, crossing now for Weisblatt, holding at the blue line. Edges to his right, trying to get around McKenzie, drops it off to Pickford. To his right, Weisblatt snaps it to McKenna. Starting forward in on Jamison, curling the outside of the circles. Over to Molendijk near corner. Molendijk around behind the net, the handoff for Ritchie. Ritchie is pile drived into the boards by DuPont. Bounces off with possession of the puck. Ritchie back to the point. McKenna sets up the drive by Molendijk. That's wide. And a delayed penalty coming up. This will be against the Tips, as Ritchie was hauled down by Jamison. Tigers holding on to the puck. Molendijk over for St. Martin. 6-on-5. St. Martin breezing into the offensive zone. Low chance save. Another shot save. Third attempt, they score. Banged in by Schaefer, Gordon, Carroll. And the Medicine Hat Tigers even it up on the delayed penalty. It's 1-1. Well, that is wholly set up by the speed of St. Martin. Hunter St. Martin, the Florida Panthers 6th-round pick, cuts it to his backhand, gets two different looks to Jesse Sanch, who at that point is down and out. And Gordon Carroll following things up, the Salt Lake City, Utah native crashing the net. Playing back on the state soil. And he grabs his 6th goal of the season. And his American family in the stands tonight, getting to take in the U.S. Division Tour done once every other year for the Tigers. And the 16-year-old Gordon Carroll has evened things up for the Tigers. 2:45 left in the first period as Cole Temple pressed against by Newtons in the far corner. Held up by Ryland Pierce. Out towards the far wall. Gloved down by Bear, looking to lead Heslop out of the zone, and it's intercepted and rejected right back in by Väisänen. Sanch over to his left, Pierce. Soft exit pass finds Heslop, held up at the blue line. Trickling into the Tiger zone, reaching back and getting there first is McCann, and he guides it back to his defense. Pickford springs Ward. Ward crosses center, around the chute, over to the left wing wall, St. Martin. Gets around Hamill, works it out to the near circle. Low shot, they score! Marcus Pacheco squeaks it through the 5-hole of Sanch, and in rapid succession, the Tigers have flipped the script. They take the lead. It's a loose puck that's won in the near corner, and the Silvertips lost clear sight of it. Hamill was turned around, and it looks like Jesse Sanch wasn't even sure where it was truly situated. And Pacheco, acquired at last year's trade deadline, squeaks it through the pads of Sanch. And you see right there, Sanch very late to the party, trying to pick up where that puck is through a sea of legs. Over on to his right. And for Pacheco, his 9th goal of the season. Lifted up into the air by the Silvertips around behind the Medicine Hat net. And Mennigan will move it over to the far corner. Minute 45 left in the first. Play it out to center, glove down by Caden Hamill. Over to his right, it's Jackson Vaughn. Looping back in front of the Silvertip bench is Ward. Coughs it up, Hamill for Chasko at center. It is Terrence Smith, unable to enter for fear of an offside. Now Hamill times the entry. Slows up, crossing rink wide, no one home. Chasko scurries to the puck. Hits it off the glass. Jackson Vaughn near corner. Reverses over to Eric Jamieson, left wing. Dropping for Chasko. Off the end wall. Kaplan giving chase. Minute 10 left in the period. Kaplan trying to cut to open space. Leaves it along the boards. Chasko back to Kaplan. Squares. His wrister seen all the way by Mennigan. And he's content to freeze with a minute and 1 second left.
One way to Silvertip support the communities by keeping money local.
Silvertip sending out McKenzie with Raymond and Shea Bush remaining out on the top line. The Silvertips have been cycling through options on the wing with McKenzie. Kane Wilkie started the game there. We'll see how often Steve Hamilton chooses to rotate as the Tigers win the D-zone faceoff, and Pickford moves it over to his right. Out comes Medicine Hat. Weisblatt on the left wing. Run down by DuPont. Weisblatt retains possession. Shot absorbed by Sanch, and he hangs on. 48.7 left in the period. Well, with Austin Roos not back yet from the Nashville Predators as he rehabs an injury sustained during NHL preseason. Julius Miettinen suffering a lower body injury at World Juniors. He's out week to week. Zachary Shantz injured back on the 18th. He remains week to week, though positive signs indicating he may be back sooner rather than later. Tips without their 1C, 2C, and 3C options at present, which really leaves McKenzie and Chasko as the only pure centermen and a rotation of wingers as they try to find the right combinations. Out into the neutral zone, Landon DuPont over to his left. Jamieson entering in. Jamieson pushing into the far corner, working against Pickford. Ritchie, staple gun by Raymond, and will get a delayed penalty. As Shea Bush was hauled down in the corner, he is without his helmet. And we'll see how the penalties are assessed as VT Väisänen was standing over Bush. 21 and a half seconds left in the opening period. It looks like the Silvertips are heading back to the power play. Engineered Sports Power Play forthcoming for the Tips if there is no scoring in the next 21 seconds. And we'll have some pretty significant time carrying over into the middle frame. Draw to the right of Mennigan as Raymond Bear McKenzie out with DuPont and Smith. Draw one by McKenzie. Raymond cuts to his right. 15 seconds left in the period. Smith shot through traffic as blocked into the far corner. DuPont holds at the far wing for McKenzie, trying to cycle down low for Bear. 8 seconds left. Bear in the trapezoid. Guides it to Raymond. Cuts to his left. Raymond looking down low. It's kicked away with a nice play by Molendijk. And that will do it for the opening period. Shots on goal presented by Levitt Group Northwest. 11 for the Silvertips, 9 for the Medicine Hat Tigers. And the Tigers lead it 2-1 after surrendering the first one. Heavy contact in the crease. Carter Bear picks up his 33rd goal of the season. Answered in rapid succession by Schaefer Gordon Carroll and Marcus Pacheco. And Medicine Hat has the advantage in the best-on-best matchup here on Wednesday night in the Dub. We give a hearty salutations to everybody in the YouTube chat as we follow along. We'll read off some of the comments later on in the intermission report, but when we come back, we'll have a special sit-down with Landon DuPont. That's coming up next on Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKO.
In a world where fitness is more than a resolution, one gym rises above the rest. Emerald City Athletics' newly renovated club. All new state-of-the-art equipment, a massive free weight room, saunas, steam rooms, hydro massage beds, all for just $29 a month to celebrate a free 29-day gym pass. No strings attached. Visit EmeraldCityGyms.com. Emerald City Athletics. New year, new gym, new you.
Hey Silvertip fans, Bricks and Minifigs South Everett is now open right across from the Everett Mall. From face-offs to build-offs, Bricks and Minifigs is your ultimate destination for buying, selling, and trading all things Lego. Looking to host the ultimate Lego party? Bricks and Minifigs South Everett will help you light the lamp. Bricks and Minifigs South Everett, where the fun never takes a time out. To find a location near you, please visit bricksandminifigs.com.
What does full-service banking actually look like? If you're looking for the basics, People's Bank offers checking and savings accounts, and we can help with all of your other financial needs too. Whether you have a business, you have a family, you're looking to buy a home or invest, People's Bank can help with that. We're in Whatcom, Skagit, Island, Snohomish, King, Chelan, and Douglas counties. And we don't only work there, we live there too. So maybe you haven't thought of People's Bank as a full-service bank. Maybe it's time to think again. When you think banking, think People's Bank. Member FDIC.
But soft, what light through yonder windshield breaks? They are, tail lights, aglow with red for miles on end. On my wit, it hath been proclaimed, the link light rail is expanding. Begone, driver's seat. Away with you, devilish traffic, for tomorrow I ride.
Skip the drama of traffic. Ride Sound Transit. Explore 4 new stations on the one line from Shoreline to Linwood, now open.
The first intermission is brought to you by Dwayne Lane's family of auto centers. Dwayne Lane's. Discover why they have so many loyal customers.
Welcome back to the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. The Silvertips playing host to the Medicine Hat Tigers, and prior to tonight's contest, the WHL media team had a chance to sit down with Silvertips defenseman Landon DuPont. We turn it over now to Cammie Kepke.
We're joined by Everett Silvertips star and exceptional status defenseman Landon DuPont. Although you just played your first WHL game at forward, how did that happen?
Coach just kind of pulled me into his office and asked if I wanted to try forward for a game and get some guys into our lineup. So I was open to it, and then obviously that game was super fun and had some great line mates that I played with, so it was fun.
How'd you feel the fit was at wing?
It was a little hard at first, like especially in the D zone, just knowing what your role is and where to go. But you know, after the first period, you kind of just pick up and obviously after watching your other fellow wingers, you kind of just watch after them and pick up their habits.
You know, I know you played a couple games forward in minor hockey and stuff, but what's more nerve-wracking, your first WHL game period or your first WHL game at a new position?
I think I was more nervous for the new position first game. Like I said, I just had no clue what I was doing out there in the first period, and obviously playing your own position that you've been playing your whole life, you kind of expect what's going to happen in that game. But as a D-man playing forward, I had no expectations going into that game.
I mean, you're putting up points like a forward right now, up to 46 in 43 games so far. Did you set any goals for yourself at the start of the season? Maybe not on paper, but in the back of your head about what you wanted to achieve?
I've set goals. I like setting goals for myself, but you know, the goals I set for myself aren't really stats. They're just making sure that I'm getting better each and every day and helping my team win whenever I can. So I think, no, I didn't place any point stats, but obviously I set other goals into my head.
You're also on pace to become the first defenseman age 16 or younger to surpass 50 points in their rookie season. No one's done it since Hall of Famer and Kamloops legend Scott Niedermayer in 1990. Has that been on your radar at all?
It's in the back of my mind a bit, but like I said before, I just like to do whatever I can to help my team win each and every night, and that's the end goal is for a championship, and our team's well on our way to do that.
Well, Everett has plenty of wins so far. It seems like you've really settled into the WHL. But has your approach to the game changed at all from the start of the season now that you have a sense of what things are like at this level?
Yeah, obviously after half of the season, you kind of know what to expect every night. And obviously playing those teams, you kind of get a feel for the league and the physical contact. And obviously the structure is a big thing. And I feel like halfway into the season, you kind of memorize your own structure, which helps a lot. And, you know, just these are the dog days of the season, and just finding ways to pull out wins is the best thing.
You guys had a really tough test against Spokane last week. You've got Medicine Hat this week. How important are these tests against high-end teams with the playoffs less than 2 months away?
Yeah, I think they're huge. Obviously, those are two great teams that obviously made new additions to their roster at the deadline. So I think just getting a feel for those close games and knowing what you have to do and what to expect come playoffs.
And you haven't played them before, but from what you've seen, what could make Medicine Hat a tough opponent?
They have a lot of firepower. They have some pretty skilled forwards and some skilled D-men. So I think just playing our game and being hard on their forwards and making, obviously, their night tough.
A lot of people mention your name and Gavin McKenna's in the same sentence. How do you feel about going up against him for the first time?
Yeah, it'll be cool for sure. I've never played against him, and obviously just seeing what he's done in this league, and obviously at World Juniors, it's going to be pretty cool to play against a player like that.
What do you think makes him elite as a defenseman watching his game?
Obviously, what people see is his obviously smarts with the puck and his plays with the puck, but I think just the way he plays without the puck and the way he can read the ice and is what obviously breaks him apart from other players.
Have you ever had a chance to meet him or talk to him?
No, I haven't, but I might tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the place to get it done, I guess. Finally, what's it going to take for the Silvertips to pull out a win?
I think we just got to play our game. We got to play Everett hockey. We got to be hard on our sticks and hard in the corner, and then just work as a full unit, and then we'll get this win.
Thanks again, Landon. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
A special thanks to WHL media member Cami Kepke chatting with Landon DuPont there. When we come back, more on the Everett Silvertips Intermission Report here on Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKO.
Hockey Wolf is the Pacific Northwest premier hockey retailer with locations at Northgate, Olympic View, and Bellevue. Hockey Wolf staff are experts in the industry and use cutting-edge technology like the Bauer Fit Lab, the most advanced skate fitting experience. Using state-of-the-art scanning to identify the unique qualities of your feet, Hockey Wolf's team can help you find the perfect skate or get a custom design one to enhance your stride and on-ice performance, taking your game to the next level. Available now at all Hockey Wolf locations.
Give your event that extra wow with Russell's Restaurant. Russell's can cater your event or host it at the Loft, just off 405 in Canyon Park. Weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, parties, and private dining make it memorable with Russell's. Raise a toast with an espresso martini, or show your appreciation with a double-cut pork chop with an apple brandy demi-glaze. In the gorgeous accommodations at Russell's. Plan your event now at russelllowell.com. Simple food done well. russelllowell.com.
We're proud to announce Kelly Create is one of our game day sponsors. Cyber attacks can sneak up on you like a blindside check from a goon, aiming to knock your teeth out and leaving you staring at the roof of the barn. Let's not let that happen. For IT, cybersecurity, and all your technology needs, let Kelly Create help you get back to running the business you set out to run in the first place. Visit us at KELLEY create.com.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network and on Wednesday night in the Dub on the CHL app and YouTube. Hello to everybody in the chat. Thanks so much for joining us. Seems like we have some great viewership numbers here today for one of the most exciting ventures in junior hockey. So thank you all for joining us here in a best-on-best clash. First period certainly delivered, but before we get to the highlights a little bit later on in the first intermission, let's take a look around the rest of the Western Hockey League and more with our Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. 5 other games going on in the WHL. A couple of them already gone final. In Brandon, the Wheat Kings trounced the Red Deer Rebels by a 7-2 score. In Prince Albert, the Raiders pulled away for a 5-2 win over the Regina Pats. In Calgary, the Hitmen A 5-0 lead over the Edmonton Oil Kings at the end of 2 periods. The Kamloops Blazers and Tri-City Americans are tied at 1 at the end of 1. The Kelowna Rockets on home ice down 3-0 to the Victoria Royals at the end of 20 minutes. In the pro circuit, 5 total games. The Devils shut out the Flyers 5-0 at the Rock. The Wild take down the Maple Leafs 3-1 in Toronto. The Panthers blank the LA Kings 3-0. The Canucks currently up 2-1 on the Nashville Predators at the end of 2 periods. And through 1, the Utah Hockey Club / Mammoth / Wasatch / however you pronounce that, they are up 1-0 on the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that is your Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. When we come back, we'll have the highlights from the first period. You are listening to Sound Transit Silvertips Hockey on Everett's Greatest Hits KRKO and Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube.
Suffering with knee pain? Visit Dr. Gill and team at Symetria Integrative Medical in Marysville, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County. Dr. Gill and team treat patients for knee pain and arthritis, helping you avoid painful knee surgery. You might be a candidate for stem cell therapy, so schedule an appointment today at 360-659-6554 or visit online at SymetriaMedical.com. Symetria Integrative Medical, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County.
Craving the taste of Port of Subs? Whether you're powering through work or in the middle of a game, get the fast track to flavor with our easy online delivery. Fresh baked bread with premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggie toppings, and savory sauces. You'll never have to leave your zone. Get the Port of Subs taste you crave. Order online at portofsubs.com or download the Port of Subs app today for easy ordering, Port Perks rewards, and freshness at your fingertips.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
When a player commits a penalty, he has to sit in the box. But when a driver injures you in a crash, the insurance company treats you like the bad guy. At Dubin Law, we stand up to the insurance companies and fight for every client's compensation. And there's never a fee until you win. Don't get put in the box. Call us today at 425-800-8000 or find us at DubinLawGroup.com. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human. Go Tips.
America, there's no debate about it. It's time to unite the states. Join us at your local bar and at venues across this great nation to take a break from the daily grind with Bud Light. Buddies, at the party we can all agree on. It's time for us all to raise one to right now and kick off happy hour across the country.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. 2-1 Tigers at the end of 1. We've got the highlights coming up for you. Presented by Mountain Pacific Bank. 9-12 into the first period. The Silvertips are able to capitalize first. Carter Bear tucking home his 33rd of the season. And it will be stolen back by Schaefer Gordon Carroll and skied into the air. Look out, breakout for Heslop. He's in with Bear. Bear in front. Stopped short, and he scores! Carter Bear tucks it home in the crease, and the Silvertips have struck first. At 17:03, the Medicine Hat Tigers would respond as Hunter St. Martin drives the net and Schaefer Gordon Carroll comes up with the equalizer. St. Martin breezing into the offensive zone. Low chance save. Another shot save. Third attempt, they score. Banged in by Schaefer Gordon Carroll. And the Medicine Hat Tigers even it up on the delayed penalty. It's 1-1. And then less than a minute after that, St. Martin picks up an assist on a Marcus Pacheco shot that squeaks through the pads of Sanch, and the Tigers lead it 2-1. Ward crosses center, around the chute, over to the left wing wall, St. Martin. Gets around Hamill, works it out to the near circle. Low shot, they score! Marcus Pacheco squeaks it through the 5-hole of Sanch, and in rapid succession, the Tigers have flipped the script. They take the lead. 2-1 is your score at the end of 20 minutes when we come back. Live coverage of the second period here on Everett's Greatest Hits KRKO and on Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
Cascade into cash this January at Tulalip Resort Casino. Sled by Mondays and Fridays for an avalanche of cash. Pocket up to $5,000 every half hour and come back on the 31st for 10 grand or even more. Earn entries for all your play. Cash in Wednesdays at the Lucky Money Tree for free play or cash every 15 minutes. Find all the details online at TulalipCasino.com.
At West Coast Armory North, our focus is providing a safe atmosphere for our community to enjoy the shooting sports. If you have been thinking about purchasing a firearm or just want to update your firearm skills, West Coast Armory North has you covered. Our pro shop has a full selection of firearms and accessories, and you can hone your skills at our range or in one of our classes. When you come in, mention our ad on Everett's Greatest Hits and receive a free bronze membership for 1 year. Check out our training schedule at westcoastarmorynorth.com.
Ashton Wolf here with Wolf Plumbing and Wolf Fire Protection. We're proud to support Everett Silvertips hockey and frontline workers in the Puget Sound. For 5 decades, we've worked hard on the I-5 corridor and are now offering plumbing and fire sprinkler service contracts and maintenance for commercial, mixed-use, and multifamily buildings. We take pride in serving you, and we take pride in those serving to get us through the pandemic. Thanking all who help us live and work safely. Find us on the web at wolfpi.com. Go Tips.
Time now for the second period of Everett Silvertips hockey, presented by Great Clips. The Medicine Hat Tigers carry a 2-1 advantage into the middle frame, but the Tigers will be shorthanded for another minute and 39 seconds. As sitting in the box is Viti Väisänen. Väisänen serves for checking to the head. And the tips on the Engineered Sports Power Play. They will begin with McKenzie, Raymond, Bear, Smith, and DuPont. Tyler McKenzie, last year's captain of the Medicine Hat Tigers. He appeared in 197 games in the black and orange, logging 115 points. This season, McKenzie 27 goals, 34 assists for 61 points in 47 games played. He'll skate right to left on your CHL screens, countered by Matthew Ward on the dot with St. Martin on the kill, with Van Mulligan and Molendyke on defense. Puck is dropped and away we go as Terrence Smith dishes to Raymond, who slides into the offensive zone. Raymond carrying with DuPont behind the net, looking back along the wall, stolen by Van Mulligan and cleared all the way back down towards Jesse Sanch, who sets it aside in his crease. Terrence Smith with 1:15 in the penalty clock. Smith guides it to his right for DuPont, off the glass, up into the air, around behind the net where Mennigan will stymie. Moving it over to his right, Van Mulligan, plenty of time and space, and Van Mulligan shoots it on net. It's kicked away by Jesse Sanch, and Smith has to turn on the Jets for an oncoming Ward. Smith allotted some space, quarterbacking the power play, dropping for DuPont. Over to Raymond, sliding into the offensive zone, puck left behind for McKenzie, creases the blue line. McKenzie edging to his right, gets around Ward. Round behind the net, Bear taps it for DuPont, left wing has pressure coming, back to the blue line. Jamison back to DuPont, crossing for Raymond. McKenzie, Raymond one-timer, misses wide. DuPont on the left wing, snaps it over to Raymond, looking down low for McKenzie off the heel of his stick, and picked up and cleared away by Bryce Pickford. 25 seconds left in the penalty to Väisänen, as Eric Jamison will lead the second unit ahead for the Tips. Cole Temple up the left wing, met by Van Mulligan, stolen back by Weisblatt. Look out, shorthanded breakaway. Oasis, Weisblatt over across the way, they score. Gavin McKenna, a shorthanded 2-on-0. Weisblatt to McKenna. The Tigers lead it 3-1. Far too easy for the Tigers. Silvertips having a devil of a time working into the offensive zone to start the second period. Weisblatt picks the pocket in the neutral zone and races forward. Great foot speed, cuts over to his backhand, and all he has to do is set it on the platter for McKenna, who outraced Hamill back down the other end of the ice. And as Pierce lifts it up into the air and out of play with 3 seconds left in the penalty. The Tigers have scored 3 unanswered to make it a 3-1 hockey game. Well, for Gavin McKenna, that extends his point streak to 24 games. McKenna now with 80 points on the season. And he now sits 5 away from 200 in his illustrious WHL career. Face-off to the left of Harrison Mennigan is won cleanly by Weisblatt. Off the boards and out to center. Out of the box is Väisänen, and in the neutral zone, Väisänen will one-hand it deep into the Silvertips' end. Ryland Pierce juggles with the puck for a moment. Over to his right, Jackson Vaughn. Skies to center. Lands in the skates of Kaplan. Cuts into the offensive zone. Lead pass for Chasko in! A backhander shoved wide! Chasko tries it again, and it's poked back by Ritchie. Oh, Nolan Chasko with a golden opportunity. There's a shot by Liskey that wires wide. From a sharp angle, Pierce swallowed up by Mennigan. And he hangs on to 2:09. Gone by in the second period. Well, Nolan Chasko with a golden chance breaking in on Mennigan. Chasko, the 19-year-old. This season, 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points in 47 outings. And then he has a second attempt in the flying stick check of Ryder Ritchie to deny that far post from Chasko. Faceoff is won by Medicine Hat and scooped up by the Tigers defender Muhonen. Trying to clear, it's forced out to center. DuPont rattles it back into the near corner. Giving chase is Schaefer. Off the boards and one-handed away. Newton's trying to get it up to McCann. Swept away by DuPont. Off the glass, cleared to center. Around the kick plate behind the Silvertip net, Sanch taps for DuPont, who tries the exit one more time. Wilkie sends it into the skates of Newton's. Picked up and wired in by Volotovsky. Sanch over for Jameson. Schaefer has it stolen. Pickford stepping forward. Bryce Pickford blocked by the stick of Jameson. And this will be a delayed penalty going against Everett. And slashing will be the call. And it will go against the 17-year-old Schaefer. And now the Tigers have an opportunity to really put the pedal to the metal. Silvertips to the Murphy trial law penalty kill for the first time tonight. Medicine Hat's power play, 5th best in the league at 27.6%. Everett's PK, meanwhile, 7th in the league at 79.2. Draw won by the Tigers. Molendyke back to the blue line. Pickford to his left. Molendyke at the circle, down low. Shovel by Ritchie, turned away twice by Sanch. And it's lifted up and out by Terrence Smith. Medicine Hat's power play, one of the most dangerous thanks to the multitude of weapons that they have. Led by Gavin McKenna with 25 power play points this season. And here is McKenna, over to his right, Ritchie. Down low, McKenna in the corner. McKenna across the crease, past the legs of Hamill, out to the blue line. Molendyke over to his left. McKenna, Ritchie, far corner. Chased by Smith, back to the blue line. Molendyke holding center of the zone. Moves it to his left, holding on to it is Pickford. Back to Molendyke, a drive that misses wide. Hard bounce off the end boards. Pickford up into the air for Weisblatt. Racing for it, Hamill backhands it off the legs of Heslop. Moved to the blue line, kept in Molendyke. Pickford tries to flex it towards the net. Hopped off his stick, and Heslop is able to clear. Halfway through the power play, 4 minutes into the second. It's Tanner Molendyke, the Predators' first rounder. Cutting through the neutral zone to his right, Ritchie. Back to the blue line, McKenna cutting the slot. McKenna forced over to the far boards with Bush marking him. McKenna carries all the way to the far circles. Back to McKenna, pass behind him. One-handed out to the neutral zone by Bush. And it will be Jonas Wu gliding all the way back into his own end with 30 seconds left in the power play. Wu to his left, now Van Mulligan lugs it into the offensive zone. Handing off to St. Martin, closed off the puck, and Smith whacks it off the glass. Held at center by Wu, crossing over to Ruck. Liam Ruck. Back to his twin brother, Marcus. And Marcus lifts it for St. Martin on the left wing. Takes the poke check from Smith. Thrown towards the front of the crease. Hamill whacks it off the boards, unable to clear. And out of the box, surviving the PK are the Silvertips. Schaefer rejoins the ice. And Smith Up on the right wing, hits McKenzie in with Schaefer. McKenzie at the far circle, dangles, looking for Schaefer, just past his stick. 3-1 Tigers, 5:10 gone by in the second. St. Martin takes the poke check from Liskey. Eddie Spitz, the 15-year-old, called up as an affiliate player on for the Tips. Schaefer leads for McKenzie. Thrown towards Spitz. Spitz with a chance, save. Rebound is shoved wide. Kneeling to block that in front as Liskey in the near corner has Spitz behind the net looking for him. It's intercepted and played away. Good read on the sequence by Newtons. And boy, Eddie Spitz with a golden opportunity hunting for his first WHL tuck. Hard hit out towards the far side point, crossing over. Väisänen towards the blue paint. It's held by Sanch. He avoids some heavy contact. 5:55 gone by in the second period. And we get a little bit of a skirmish beside Sanch's net. Medicine Hat with 3 unanswered goals off the sticks of Gordon Carroll, Pacheco, and McKenna, respectively. McKenna, his 23rd of the year from Weisblatt and Van Mulligan, coming a minute 30 into the second period, shorthanded. For the Medicine Hat Tigers, that is their 13th shorty of the year. That now leads the WHL, breaking the tie they had with Edmonton, Portland, and Everett. Face-off is won by the Silvertips and Shea Bush. The Penn State Division I commit will get it out to the neutral zone. Over for DuPont, backhands it off the boards. Trying to enter in, rejected by Medicine Hat, played over towards the left wing. It is McKenzie working it back to the red line. Jameson for Raymond. Raymond lofts it up into the air. It's skied wide of Mennigan's cage. Mennigan, who has been very well protected in the early goings of the second period. Here's Shea Bush backhanding it, looking for McKenzie out of his reach. And striding forth with it is McKenna. Trying to dangle around DuPont one-on-one. And all eyes are on both McKenna and DuPont in the days leading up to this matchup. Obviously, with DuPont's exceptional status, has seen quite a bit of attention shown his way. McKenzie skating forward. His stick fails him. Here's Bear with a try. That's sent wide. McKenzie will have to race back to the bench and get a new twig from equipment manager Mike Murphy. Cole Temple hopped out over the boards, and now a lead pass from McKenna. He's hauled down by Hamill. Well, McKenzie was going to stay in that play, but Temple thought he was going to replace McKenzie, so very nearly a too-many-men call going against the Silvertips. Here's Temple over for Bear right wing. Bear slows up at the blue line. To the corner, Heslop starting forward. Heslop across the way for Smith, broken up. Temple lofts it up into the air, leaves it behind the net. Pickford will take for the Tigers. Over to the right wing, Pacheco, and out to center. 7.5 into the second period. 3-1 Medicine Hat. Hamill off the glass into the paraphernalia of Ward. Sets it aside on the left wing for St. Martin. And St. Martin is hampered by Hamill and carried away by Temple. Off the boards, looking for Heslop, who will glide back towards the bench. Matthew Ward from his own zone, pursued by Kaplan. Off of the prone broken stick, and you can hear the lumber clattering on the ice. As Ward out towards the neutral zone. Chasko gets a piece of the pass. And now Vaughn will throw a hit behind the play. Chasko will pinball the puck around behind Mennigan's net. Far corner starting out with it. Stretch pass for Pacheco off his twig. Hamill turns it around. Vaughn right wing. Flings it to the near corner. Kaplan racing forward. He throws his weight into a hit. Knocked down Muhonen in the near corner. Gordon Carroll providing support for the Tigers. Haranguing him on his way out is Chasko. Knocks him down to the ice. Play beckoned onward as Wilkie carries up the right wing, over stick handled, and this will be poked back to the neutral zone. Without touching it is Vaughn, so no offsides on the play. And Wilkie will shoot it deep. Spitz on the left wing. Run hard into the boards by Muhonen. Liskey in deep for a defender into the near corner. Vying for possession. Spitz wins it away. Good board battle win for Spitz. Gets it to Wilkie. Trying to split the slot here. Schaefer with a chance. That's rejected. Gordon Carroll will start out for the Tigers on the right wing. He takes a light hit from Ryland Pierce. Played around behind Sanch's net. Over to the right wing, taking the step forward. Good keep for Molendijk. Schaefer looking for another way out. Schaefer, whose brother Reed plays for the Milwaukee Admirals. and was teammates of Bryce Pickford's in Seattle. 9.5 into the second period. Long pass off the twig of Volotovsky, redirected into the Silvertips end. Jamison the first to get there, over for DuPont. On the right wing, Shea Bush pulls it to his forehand, unable to escape his own zone. Glove down by DuPont, move to McKenzie, back to DuPont, unable to settle the puck down cleanly, and Volotovsky has some time and space. Well, the Tigers have done an excellent job absolutely suffocating the Silvertips in this period as Van Mulligan, looking for a seam off the stick of Newtons, trickles wide of Sanch, set aside for Eric Jamison, over for Raymond right wing. Well, it is very rare that you see the Silvertips ever outskated in a track meet of a match. But the Tigers have done an excellent job of getting to these loose pucks. Here's McKenzie in the near circle, settles for Raymond, rising shot off the shoulder of Mennigan. Loose puck behind the net, McKenzie, who has been a spark plug for the Tips tonight, moves it behind the net for Heslop. Loose far post, Mennigan will smother. 9:35 left in the second period. We'll take our first media timeout. 3-1 Tigers. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO, and you are watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube.
Give your event that extra wow with Russell's Restaurant. Russell's can cater your event or host it at the Loft, just off 405 in Canyon Park. Weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, parties, and private dining make it memorable with Russell's. Raise a toast with an espresso martini, or show your appreciation with a double-cut pork chop with an apple brandy demi-glaze in the gorgeous accommodations at Russell's. Plan your event now at russelllowell.com. Simple food done well. russelllowell.com.
Althea of Althea's Footwear Solutions in Everett on what makes her store different.
We work with the ill and injured foot, but we also work with that person that has a wider than average foot. That's a customer that we can help. If you have just minor, like hammer toes or things that are not going to fit in a traditional shoe comfortably, then that's somebody that we can help and assist.
Althea's Footwear Solutions at 1932 Broadway in Everett, now in Lakewood and Tacoma, and online at altheasfootwearsolutions.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. 9:35 left in the second period for Wednesday Night in the Dub. The Silvertips and Tigers. Tigers leading at 3-1. They've scored 3 unanswered. Temple with Heslop and Bear. Faceoff is won by Weisblatt, and McKenna shoots it off the shoulders of Ritchie. Nearly caught his own teammate in the face as it directs into the offensive zone for Medicine Hat. Cole Temple, a trade acquisition from the Regina Pats back in December, crunched into the far corner, trying to get some support from the defender. Hamill, turnover, and McKenna lifts it high and wide. Pickford keeps it deep as he jostles with Heslop along the near point. Turnover, and now Ritchie swarming for the puck. Terrence Smith trying to get out. Heslop for Temple, left wing, and Temple pitches it off the boards, working it around Pickford into the near corner. Swooping in, getting a piece of it, McKenna. Temple comes together. McKenna takes a hit from Bear, loose in the blue paint, and Mennigan will pounce on it as Pickford and Bear will have to disentangle. Well, Bryce Pickford has had an excellent goal-scoring season for the Medicine Hat Tigers. 19 goals, 42 points this season in 42 appearances, which is, I think, a marked improvement for the player he was in Seattle, where he was known more for what he could do when the gloves weren't on his hands. But he has blossomed into one of the more highly touted prospects ahead of this summer's NHL draft, listed at number 73, according to the NHL Central Scouting Service. Faceoff won by the Tips, and a backhander by Vaughn is off the shoulders of Mennigan. To the neutral zone, Chasko wires it deep. Round behind the net, Väisänen looping away from Chasko on the left wing, shoots it off the skates of Kaplan. Hunter St. Martin is boxed out from the puck by DuPont into the far corner, around the boards. Jamison has Pacheco bearing down on him. Kept in the offensive end by Väisänen, who wheedles it over to Ward in the near corner. Trading paint with DuPont on their way behind the Everett net. Jamison out to center. Glances off the twig of Vaughn, and the Tigers are right back in, working against DuPont on the left side. Carrying it forth, hard hit on St. Martin by DuPont, over to the far wing. Jackson Vaughn protects with his lower half off the glass, And Lucas Kaplan will cut across center ice by himself. Kaplan off the glass. Round behind where Molendyke will settle. Up into the air and lands in the Silvertip zone. Reaching forward is Gordon Carroll. Closed out from the puck by Liskey. Kane Wilkie will glide to his right. Wilkie with some speed, joined by Spitz and Schaefer on the rush. Schaefer deposits into the offensive end, overskated by Wilkie. Hard clearance finds its way out to the neutral zone, and Liskey will settle with 7:15 left in the period. Angled for Schaefer. Schaefer held up along the far boards and stolen cleanly by Medicine Hat. On the right wing, it is Newtons. Hard off the boards, around the kick plate, all the way down into the Medicine Hat zone. Back to retrieve is Jonas Wu. Finds a nice pass on the left wing and a rising shot off the blocker of Sanch in the far circle. And here's a trailing chance that's sent high over the net by McCann. Volotovsky with the initial chance, and the loose puck was stationary for quite a while. Pickford moving into the near corner. Newtons takes a heavy hit. McCann crossing the slot. Spinning with it is Wu. Finds its way to Volotovsky, far corner. He's harassed by McKenzie into the far corner. Hamill wrapped up by McCann. Off the far wall, McCann stays in the play. On his backhand, sauces it to the near point, and it's out of reach of Pickford. And lifted around behind the Silvertip net. 6:15 left in the second period. Terrence Smith over to his right, Hamill. Avoids the forecheck of Weisblatt. Has some space as Hamill glides in. Hamill off shot, off the crossbar. And the net comes off its mooring as Mennigan went very deep into his own crease, and with 6:03 left in the second, we'll get immediate timeout. 3-1 Tigers. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and on a Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, "Don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything." So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Charge up and save. Helping our customers save energy and money has always been a driver for us at your PUD. Now more than ever, we want to make your money go further. Get instant rebates on energy-saving home upgrades like heat pumps, electric hybrid water heaters, and smart thermostats to help keep your home comfy year-round. Set your cruise control to lower bills and connect to save money and energy with your trusted partners at Snohomish PUD.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network and on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube. And we welcome everybody into the chat. We see it's pretty active throughout the night. We see the Commissioner Dan Neer has hopped in. Hello to the commish. 3-1 Tigers as they win a D-zone draw, and it's moved out. Väisänen looking for Ritchie. It's out of his reach. And it will come all the way back into the Medicine Hat zone for icing. A couple of Finns as the imports for the Medicine Hat Tigers. Viti Väisänen, a Utah Hockey Club third-rounder, and Niilo-Pekka Muhonen, the Dallas Stars fifth-round pick from this past summer. Both of them with impeccable international play records. They've played in Palenka Gretzky tournaments. They've won medals. Face-off won by the Tips as Smith sets up Raymond, a drive that's up into the air. Glove down by Mennigan. Raymond knows a thing or two about winning medals on the international stage. A bronze medalist in last year's World Juniors. And this year, Väisänen was part of the silver medal winning World Junior Finnish squad alongside Silvertips Seattle Kraken prospect Julius Miettinen, who is shelved with a lower body injury for the next couple of weeks. Face-off won by the Tips. Hamill reaching forward, tapped back to the blue line. Raymond centering pass is intercepted by Molendyke. And Molendyke will lead Weisblatt in, dropping for McKenna, sliding it to Ritchie. Back to the far circles, McKenna. Backdoor feed is intercepted by Hamill. Good read by Hamill. Bouncing puck, skipped into the offensive zone by Raymond on the backhand. Van Mulligan comes together with Hamill. Stolen by McKenzie. Wrapped up by Weisblatt. 2-on-1 as McKenzie without support as the Silvertips were going for a change. Weisblatt carries it fourth, ambling for Ritchie, poked back by DuPont. Out to center, Temple in a foot race for the puck with Ward, and Ward will close him out. Check that, that's Jonas Wu over to his left for Molendijk. And to the offensive end, Ritchie is ridden down into the ice by DuPont. At the blue line, rink wide Bear, he's got to step up on Ward. Bear dropping back to the slot, Heslop to his backhand, Heslop is in, Tucker out try, Mennigan outstretching the legs, he got it! Harrison Mennigan sprawling out using all of his 6'4" frame, and Heslop ran out of room. My goodness, what a stop by Mennigan as Heslop, ever patient with the puck. He's got some good hands, and particularly when close around the net. He has scored this type of goal many times where he waits out a netminder and pokes it home. But once you get Mennigan down on that backhander right there, he's got room. Face-off won by the Tips. Here's Jamison at the blue line. To his right, DuPont. Stepping forward, DuPont's shot that misses off the end boards. Taking the step up, Jamison. Stolen away by the Tigers out to center, and Carter Bear pushed on by Pickford 3-on-1. Bryce Pickford to the net, rings it off the iron. Far point Wu will chip it down low, and Ward keeps it moving. And Sanch bailed out front by the far side post as Pickford was hunting for goal number 20. Wu and Heslop come together. Out into the neutral zone. Poked back into Everett's end. Eric Jamison, the Flames' sixth rounder, over for Landon DuPont. DuPont fanned on the exit. Here's Pacheco throwing it to the slot. Gordon Carroll pushing it to the crease. And Sanch has got it covered. 3:59 left in the second period. Schaefer Gordon Carroll, who scored earlier in the year. 2024 was an awfully good year for Schaefer Gordon Carroll, who won gold at the Youth Olympic Games. Won the 15U National Championship for USA Tier 1 while playing with the Chicago Mission. And just for good measure, the year before that, he had won the 14U Championship. Chicago Mission, one of the best programs in the States. Face-off won by the Tigers, looking into the near side corner, out of reach of Liam Ruck. Poked out to center, and an opportunity for Jackson Vaughn, but Muhonen closes him out from the puck. Vaughn has skated with some good velocity tonight, and he's been around the net in the right areas. 3:40 to go in the second period. Muhonen up ice. Gordon Carroll bouncing it, looking for Liam Ruck, closed off from the puck. Pierce quickly back up for Chasko, joined by Kaplan to his right, looking for Vaughn to his left. Skipped into the far corner. 3:20 into the period. Molendijk out to the left wing, skating ahead is Marcus Ruck. Lost control of the puck, and Ryland Pierce will bat it back out to center. And held onto by Molendijk in his own end. Lucas Kaplan marking him on the forecheck. Effortlessly skating in is Molendijk. Smooth feet back out to the slot. Poked away by Clark Schaefer. Good read. As Mennigan directs traffic. Exit pass sticked down by Schaefer in front of the Silvertip bench. Volotovsky working his way around a body. Ethan Newton's sprung into the offensive zone. Takes the stick from Smith over to the near side wall. Caden McCann. One back by Volotovsky. Long shot is gloved down by Jesse Sanch, and he will hold on. No rebound. 2:35 left in the second period. And on come Ritchie, Weisblatt, and McKenna. Ryder Ritchie, a Minnesota Wild second-round pick. Points in 12 of his last 14 heading into tonight's contest. Has yet to find the stat sheet tonight, but still a lot of hockey left to be played. Was acquired late in the offseason for Tomas Mercic in 2/3. A terrific score for the Prince Albert Raiders prior to the trade. Face-off won by the Tigers, but a cross blue line pass out of reach. And funnels back out into the neutral zone, depositing into the Silvertip zone. Smith goes headlong into the board, stolen away by Weisblatt, crossing the slot, and a chance by Wu is sent wide. Ooh, Smith was crumpled into the glass by a hit from behind there by Weisblatt. That is a good hard check by the Tigers captain. Here's Ryder Ritchie trying to split the defense, dropping for Weisblatt, carries through McKenzie, feeds McKenna, streaking in, poked back by Hamill. McKenzie on the left wing, out with it comes Bush. Bush in with Raymond, edges to his left. Bush with a low wrister, misses wide. Rebound loose far post. Raymond maneuvering over to the near wall, delayed penalty coming up against Medicine Hat. 1:47 left in the second period. The Silvertips will hop back to the Engineered Sports power play. And this is a much-needed opportunity for the Silvertips to try to get more rubber towards Mennigan in the waning moments here of the second period. Ryder Ritchie will head to the box for slashing. Tips 0 for 2 on the Engineered Sports power play tonight, and they surrendered a shorty on their second look. Chasko, Temple, and Heslop on with Jamison and Hamill, and this is quickly won by the Tigers and sent down the full 200 feet. St. Martin, Ward, Van Mulligan, and Mullendijk, the four-man kill unit for Medicine Hat, as Temple on the left wing drops it back to Jamison. For Hamill on the right wing, crunched against the wall by Ward, and the Silvertips have been unable to penetrate the laser-targeted field across this blue line, even while a man up. Here's Jamison starting forward. Jamison, long drop for Jesse Heslop. With speed, maneuvers it to his right for Hamill. Trying to finagle it down low. It's stolen against the boards by Ward and cleared all the way down. Minute to go in the second period. 3-1 Tigers. Tips would love a shot in the arm of adrenaline before period's end. As Jamison for Raymond, in comes DuPont right wing. Comes together with a man, and the Tigers step up and chip it back into the Silvertip zone. Raymond for Smith, 40 seconds left in the period. And the penalty will carry us all the way to the expiration of the frame. Smith a long drop for Raymond. Working in, Raymond across the blue line, comes together with Pickford. Around the kick plate, Bear far corner. Bear wrapped up as McKenzie is all alone in front if they can find him. Here's Smith, far point, up into the glass glove, down by DuPont. Striding forward, spins with the puck, 15 seconds left. DuPont sauces for Smith. His shot through traffic, save made by Mennigan, with McKenzie setting the screen in front. Well, Smith got the look that the Silvertips wanted. They had McKenzie holding the stick aloft, calling for the redirection. And Mennigan gloves it through the screen. 13 ticks remaining in the period. McKenzie, Raymond, Bear on with Smith and DuPont. Draw to the glove side of Mennigan. Face-off won by the Tips, out to the point. DuPont taps for Smith. Over to his right, Raymond stepping forward. Down low, McKenzie in front at the hash marks. Fanned on the shot, 2 seconds left. Raymond at the circle, pulls the trigger and sends it wide. And that will do it. For the second period, the Silvertips with a few last gasp efforts at the crease. But they come up empty-handed in the period. Shots on goal presented by Levitt Group Northwest for the Everett Silvertips. 6 to give them a game total of 18. For the Medicine Hat Tigers, 7 to give them a game total of 16. But it has certainly felt like the Medicine Hat Tigers have been able to tilt the ice in their favor. The time on the tack heavily slanted towards the black and orange. Well, when we come back, we'll have a very special guest joining us here in the intermission, as Silvertip fan favorite Michael Sicoli will hop on with us, the much beloved Silvertips anthem singer. We will be back in a moment. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO, and you are watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube.
Hey Silvertip fans, Bricks and Minifigs South Everett is now open right across from the Everett Mall. From face-offs to build-offs, Bricks and Minifigs is your ultimate destination for buying, selling, and trading all things Lego. Looking to host the ultimate Lego party? Bricks and Minifigs South Everett will help you light the lamp. Bricks and Minifigs South Everett, where the fun never takes a time out. To find a location near you, please visit bricksandminifigs.com.
Dwayne Lane's Auto Family is celebrating 70 years of taking care of customers. Dwayne Lane's has 8 new car franchises: Subaru, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford cars and trucks, and a great selection of pre-owned to choose from in all price ranges. Locations at Everett, Arlington, and Burlington, or worldwide at DwayneLane.com. Give us a shot and you'll score. DwayneLane.com.
Dwayne Lane's Auto Family will take care of you.
America, there's no debate about it. It's time to unite the states. Join us at your local bar and at venues across this great nation to take a break from the daily grind with Bud Light. Buddies, at the party we can all agree on. It's time for us all to raise one to right now and kick off happy hour across the country.
Together, we can protect Puget Sound and keep pollutants out of our storm drains and waterways with a few small changes to how we care for our cars, like making sure our tires are inflated, which leads to less tire breakdown, regular car checkups to prevent leaks, and washing your car at commercial car washes, which capture and clean dirty wash water. These small, easy actions add up to a big difference, and they start with you. Puget Sound starts here, and here is where we live, work, and play.
The second intermission is brought to you by Sam's Cats and Dogs Naturally, serving you at 3 locations. Online at samscatsanddogs.com.
What is your score at the end of 2 periods here on Everett's Greatest Hits KRKO and on YouTube for Wednesday Night in the Dub? We've got a very special guest joining us here for the second intermission, Michael Sicoli, Everett Silvertips fan favorite and beloved anthem singer. Say hello to the folks on YouTube, Michael.
Hello to the folks on YouTube, Michael.
Michael, it's always a joy having you here in the building. This is a look at 2 of the league's best here, the Medicine Hat Tigers and the Silvertips. What do you make of your one and only look at the Tigers until potentially a league finals?
You know, I was talking to Mr. Ewell, the owner, on the phone, and he says, I wanted to get down for this game. I said, you're going to be seeing 2 first-place teams. And although I just spoke with Mike Fraser, and he says, we're a little banged up right now, but you know what? We're hanging in there, and we're on the power play to start the third period. We can get one. We're in this game. Yeah.
Neither team is at full strength because the Tigers have obviously been without Caden Lindstrom for the whole year. Andrew Basha, long-term injury as well. So that is this time of year, and there's a lot of games to be played. I'm sure you feel the same way, Michael, when you've got a lot of concerts kind of lined up in rapid succession. Yeah. You start to feel the vocal fray a little bit.
You really have to rest. You know, you really have to take it easy. And I don't care what they say about, oh, lots of tea and honey. Well, that only does so much. Get your sleep, man. Yeah, you got to rest. And these guys have to do the same thing. You know, you just got to rest the muscles. And age doesn't have a lot to do with it. Just rest.
Absolutely. Now, we have a lot of fans watching here from Medicine Hat from across Canada that may not know who you are and what you do, but you are all over the PNW. You are all over the country, really, performing and doing you've done a Beatles tribute act, which I love asking you about because you and I are big Beatle heads. And,
oh, boy.
You know, so what is the next concert stop for you, Mike?
The next concert stop is Friday night in Victoria, BC. Well, actually, Sydney. And it's our Simon and Garfunkel show.
Ooh, okay.
And it's sold out. The theater's sold out, and I've had friends saying, come on, I want to come to the show. I say, I can't get you in. Not even backstage. It's sold out. So
Victoria is probably, bar none, my favorite road city.
Like it? Yeah,
you know, because you get the extra night there because of the ferry schedule.
True.
And that downtown area is very lively. They have the best ice cream shop I've ever been to.
Now that I don't know.
Okay. When you're on the harbor in Victoria, Chocolates Favoris. They have like the soft serve that's dipped and like immediately hardens. They put brownie bits in the shell, and it doesn't collapse all over your hands. It's the best. Do you have a sweet tooth like I do?
Not usually, but you know what? Being Italian, I love gelato.
Ah, there you go.
So there's my weakness.
My fellow paisan. There I knew it was in you. I knew it was in you.
We got to call you Brianto. Yeah, there we go.
Mom's maiden name was Andriano, so that's
well, there we go. Okay, I knew there was something special about you.
And Bryant, by the way, is also the last name of the new MedHat broadcaster, Will Bryant, who we had the chance to meet before the game. So shout out to Will, perhaps a distant cousin from Cork in Ireland, where my
there's lots of familia here. Okay, I'm getting this. This is good.
Now, Michael, I'll ask you this. Sure. Speaking of road cities, what is your favorite road city to ever play a concert in?
Boy, that's a loaded question because you know what? There's some great ones in Canada. Edmonton has great fans. Mm-hmm. And in the States, I probably have to say in the Phoenix, Tucson area.
Really?
Yeah.
Does the warmth have anything to do with that?
I think it's the Gulf. All my golf buddies come out there. Yeah, Mikey.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Michael, is there anything else that you would like to say to the Silvertip fans that are out there?
Nothing except, you know, we appreciate you coming out as always. I know it's a Wednesday night, but, you know, once we get back to good health altogether, we are going to have some kind of team come playoff time. And we're just, I think you can vouch for that too, Casey. We're so grateful to be working here in Everett for such a super organization. I mean,
absolutely.
It's the best. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate when you're in the building singing your heart out. And we hope to be seeing you back around here soon.
Thanks, buddy.
That is Silvertips anthem singer Michael Sicoli. When we come back, we'll have the out-of-town scoreboard on Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKO.
Get ready for a heart-pounding night of thrills as Nelson Motorsports presents Extreme International Ice Racing at Angel of the Winds Arena on Saturday, February 8th.
Experience the adrenaline rush as fearless riders race head-to-head on ice with no brakes, no gears, and no fears. Don't miss out on the action-packed event that will have you on the edge of your seat. Tickets on sale now at the Angel of the Winds Arena box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Hockey Wolf is the Pacific Northwest premier hockey retailer with locations at Northgate, Olympic View, and Bellevue. Hockey Wolf staff are experts in the industry and use cutting-edge technology like the Bauer Fit Lab, the most advanced skate fitting experience. Using state-of-the-art scanning to identify the unique qualities of your feet, Hockey Wolf's team can help you find the perfect skate or get a custom-designed one to enhance your stride and on-ice performance, taking your game to the next level. Available now at all Hockey Wolf locations.
Dave & Buster's at the Alderwood Mall, where winter just got more fun. Join the fun and the Everett Silvertips coaches and players for their meet and greet Tuesday, February 4th at Dave & Buster's. That's right, full access to the Tips players and coaches Tuesday, February 4th from 6 until 7:30. Dave & Buster's meet and greet with the Silvertips. What a great night that'll be. Dave & Buster's at the Alderwood Mall and online at davidbusters.com.
It's the most important document you'll ever hold. When people read it for the first time and start asking questions, they're usually shocked, in disbelief. For example, this evening, homemade meatloaf dinner, just like Mom used to make, with garlic toast and your choice of 2 sides. Just $11.99. Yes, it's hard to believe, but seeing is believing. So head to one of the 12 Buzz-In steakhouses. Once you see their menu and taste their food, you'll smile from ear to ear. BuzzInSteakhouse.com.
You're listening to Everett Silvertips Hockey on AM 1380 and FM 95.3. Everett's greatest hits.
I gotta have more cowbell.
This is KRKO Everett.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network and on YouTube for Wednesday night in the Dub. Let's take a look around the rest of the Western Hockey League and more with our Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. A couple of games already gone final. The Brandon Wheat Kings top the Red Deer Rebels 7-2. Former Tri-City American Jordan Gavin with a goal in that one. Quinn Manti, reigning player of the week, with the game-deciding goal, 7:52 into the second period. Calgary currently up big on Edmonton, 6-0 with 2.5 left in the third period. They've gone final in Prince Albert. The Raiders come up with a 5-2 victory over the Regina Pats. Harrison Lodwick with the game-deciding goal in that one midway through the second. In the Western Conference, the Kelowna Rockets are currently getting run out of their own building. It is 8-0 in favor of the Victoria Royals as Tatum Trembecki has completed the hat trick. Cole Reshny with 2 goals, Brandon Lazowski with 2 goals. It is the Royals show up at Prospera Place. They are 4 for 5 on the power play. And finally, the Kamloops Blazers are playing host to the Tri-City Americans. It is 3-2 Amherst, closing in on the end of the second period. 5 games in the pro circuit, 4 of them already done. The Devils 5-0 victors over the Flyers. The Wild 3-1 over the Maple Leafs. 3-0 Panthers over the Kings. The Canucks a 3-1 win over the Nashville Predators. And through 2 periods in Utah, the Hockey Club leading the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1. That is your Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. When we come back, we'll have highlights, and we'll take a few of your questions. So drop them in the YouTube chat if you've got any questions for the Tips booth, and we'll interact a little bit and say hello to the folks that are watching, be you from Medicine Hat, from Everett, or from anywhere in the world. So that's coming up next on Everett's Greatest Hits KRKO and on YouTube.
2025 marks the return of the Greater Everett Chamber of Commerce. As a member, you'll be part of a community dedicated to powering the prosperity of Greater Everett businesses, gaining valuable insight and connections that can propel your business forward. Connect with industry leaders and local business owners to expand your professional network. Access resources and support designed to help your business thrive in 2025. For more information, visit everettchamber.org.
When a player commits a penalty, he has to sit in the box. But when a driver injures you in a crash, the insurance company treats you like the bad guy. At Dubin Law, we stand up to the insurance companies and fight for every client's compensation. And there's never a fee until you win. Don't get put in the box. Call us today at 425-800-8000 or find us at DubinLawGroup.com. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human. Go Tips.
Buckle your seatbelt. This is what truck buyers have been waiting for. Chevy, Ford, and Ram trucks all in one place. DwayneLane.com. Compare and save at your one-stop truck shop. 1,500, 2,500 in heavy duty. Long bed, short bed, 2x4, 4x4, diesel, gas, electric, you name it, Dwayne Lanes has it. All on sale. Huge discounts on Chevy, Ford, and Ram trucks at your one-stop truck shop. DwayneLane.com.
Dwayne Lane's Auto Family will take care of you.
When life checks you into the boards, you need a solid defense. Call Chuck Van Howling at Legacy West Insurance, your local Allstate agent. From auto to home insurance, Chuck has you covered. Chuck and his team offer personalized service and expert advice to make sure you've got the right coverage. Because when life checks you into the boards, you want a pro on your side. Protect what matters most. Call Chuck at 425-337-4646 today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network. Silvertips trailing the Medicine Hat Tigers 3-1. We'll take you through the highlights presented by Mountain Pacific Bank. Gavin McKenna struck shorthanded a minute 30 into the second period with his 23rd of the year. Up the left wing, met by Van Mulligan, stolen back by Weisblatt. Look out, shorthanded breakaway. Oasis, Weisblatt over across the way, they score. Gavin McKenna. A shorthanded 2-0. Weisblatt to McKenna. The Tigers lead it 3-1. And Harrison Manigan was helping carry the Tigers the rest of the way. Not that he faced a ton of shots in that period, but Manigan had this doozy of a stop on Jesse Heslop later in the second. At the blue line, rink wide, Bear. He's got to step up on Ward. Bear dropping back to the slot. Heslop to his backhand. Heslop is in. Tucker out try. Manigan outstretching the legs. He got it. Harrison Manigan sprawling out using all of his 6'4" frame, and Heslop ran out of room. And that is where we find ourselves at the end of 40 minutes. 3-1 is your score in favor of Medisat. We'll turn our attention now to the YouTube chat, and hello to everybody in there watching Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube. We've opened things up to some questions from the chat, so let's take a look here. Our first question comes from Chris Fielden asking what it was like on New Year's Eve, that clash between the Silvertips and the Portland Winterhawks. New Year's Eve hockey always holds a very special place in my heart. My parents got engaged at a hockey game on New Year's Eve back in 1988. It was Rangers versus Nordiques, so I will always have a special place in my heart whenever a game is played on New Year's Eve. So, yes, a very fun event. Jerry Cunningham, who is a Tips fan watching from, looks like, Tennessee, Charleston, Tennessee. Hello, Jerry. Saying cowbells are not just tolerated, they are celebrated in Everett. Very true, Jerry. We've got a question here from Carter, who says, what do you think the West Final will be this year? Very good question, because it could be a lot of teams. It's really tight up at top. You know, speaking selfishly in terms of biggest threats to the Silvertips, who are currently top in the Western Conference, Spokane looks awfully potent with Andrew Crystal on the top line. And then you also can't count out Victoria, who has been playing some excellent hockey since the trade deadline. Isogai and Lazowski have reformed that team in a big, big way. And on that note, I think that kind of answers user MD1602. What Western Conference team is playing the best right now? It'd be hard-pressed to find a team that's really playing better, or at least more surprisingly, I think, upstart than the Victoria Royals, who I think are turning a lot of heads playing ahead this season. A question here from Easton Crouch asking how the new post-Dennis Williams era is going for Everett. For those who don't know, Dennis Williams, head coach of the Silvertips from 2017 through 2024. Steve Hamilton's got a steady hand on the wheel. The players love him, and I think that a lot of people who may have doubted Hamilton when he came over, they've got a lot to answer for right now. Keep the questions coming. We'll keep tabs on it throughout the third period. But for now, we've got the final frame coming up next on Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKO, and Wednesday Night in the Dub.
For the past 56 years, Glass by Lund has been serving the greater Puget Sound area with quality work, exceptional service, and fair pricing. It's their honest reputation that has placed Glass by Lund among the top-rated glass companies in the area for quality, based on customer satisfaction. Glass by Lund is also a big supporter of the local community and has been a long-time sponsor of Westco High School sports. So next time you're in need for a window repair or replacement, shower doors, mirrors, deck railings, tabletop glass, residential or commercial, why not call a place that has glass in their name? For the past 56 years, Glass by Lund. To schedule a free estimate, go to glassbylund.com.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
Give your event that extra wow with Russell's Restaurant. Russell's can cater your event or host it at the Loft, just off 405 in Canyon Park. Weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, parties, and private dining make it memorable with Russell's. Raise a toast with an espresso martini, or show your appreciation with a double-cut pork chop with an apple brandy demi-glaze. In the gorgeous accommodations at Russell's. Plan your event now at russelllowell.com. Simple food done well. russelllowell.com.
Cascade into cash this January at Tulalip Resort Casino. Sled by Mondays and Fridays for an avalanche of cash. Pocket up to $5,000 every half hour and come back on the 31st for 10 grand or even more. Earn entries for all your play. Cash in Wednesdays at the Lucky Money Tree for free play or cash every 15 minutes. Find all the details online at TulalipCasino.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. The Silvertips getting ready for the final frame presented by Trans Blue. Tips will skate left to right on your CHL screens. Ryder Ritchie has 13 more seconds of slashing penalty time to serve. Jesse Sonch, 13 for 16. Harrison Mennigan, 17 for 18. Puck is dropped and away we go for the final frame. Here's Hamill, lead pass for McKenzie, pulling it to his forehand, dropping back to Hamill at the point. Snaps it to Smith, back to Hamill. Cuts to his right, waits for a shot through traffic. Save, rebound, loose at the near post. Bush jabbing at it off the side of the netting. Loose in the trapezoid, whacked into the corner by McKenzie. Back to 5-on-5 as McKenzie patrols the blue line, stepping forward, feeds his left. Back to the slot, Raymond, he scores! Dominic Raymond strikes early for the Silvertips. They're back within one. Well, beginning the period with an extra man is all the space the Silvertips needed. They were able to chip it deep and carry it into the offensive zone. That's something that they hadn't really been able to do for either of their first two power plays. And with the extra skater coming back on to replenish the 5-on-5 just a hair late, Tips retaining possession, and the pass back to Raymond in the high slot. All eyes were in the far circle on Terrence Smith, who was able to get it back to Raymond. And for Dominic Raymond, the overager import, he now has 24 goals on the season. Raymond with goals in 5 of his last 7. Out to the near point, a 3-2 hockey game. Medicine Hat leads it. Back towards the blue line, it is Pickford moving it over around behind the net. DuPont out for Cole Temple with speed over to his left, Carter Bear. Off the glass, Cole Temple sliding in, joined by Heslop. McKenzie picks up a helper. Weeding in, here's a backdoor feed. Heslop sends it wide. Ooh, Heslop had a lot of net to shoot at the near side post and just couldn't get it around the leg pads of Mennigan. And now we'll have a too many men call. Believe this is going against Everett. Kaplan and Heslop are apoplectic. They are voicing their displeasure to the officiating crew, but Ward Pateman, the referee, definitively signaling too many men, and the Tigers are going to get an extra skater. Kaplan will go to serve. Minute 15 into the third period, the Tigers head to the man advantage. Silvertips on the Murphy trial law penalty kill. Steve Hamilton, the head coach of the Silvertips, seeking an explanation. And we will have Weisblatt on with Ritchie and Pickford up front. Molendijk and McKenna on the back end for the faceoff. Faceoff won by the Tigers, forced to the near wall. And Raymond will shovel it down the length of the ice. Now the Tigers can really sling the puck. They can skate well. McKenzie and Raymond, though, one of the more dangerous pairings up front in penalty killing. Raymond goes for a quick change. Heslop hops out over the boards. McKenna weaves in. Hold up at the far side circle. McKenna, backdoor feed, they score. Bryce Pickford at the near side circle, clinical. One-timer And the Tigers restore their multi-goal advantage. And for Bryce Pickford, that is his 20th tally of the season. His 8th on the power play, and the Tigers respond in short order. Well, it's the non-hockey penalties that often hurt the worst. And the too many men penalty opens up tons of space for this ever-lethal Medicine Hat power play. Carried up the right side, Gavin McKenna splits two defenders, crossing the slot out of reach of Hamill, and Pickford is able to bury it. It's 4-2 Medicine Hat, a minute 45 into the third period. Already 2 goals in the frame. Liskey, up ice, finds Jackson Vaughn, who springs it into the far side corner, pursued by Van Mulligan, moves it over to the far side wall, drop back to the point. Liskey holds the line. A Northern Alberta Extreme product. Down behind to another NAX kid in Lucas Kaplan. Shielding the puck in the near corner is Pickford over to McCann, bounces it out to center. Liskey will hold on, moving to his left. Kaplan out of his reach. Van Mulligan has it kicked away by Vaughn. Carried up the right side. Vaughn lowers his shoulder. Sharp angle shot, a save made by Menegim. Holding his temple, backhanded over towards the far circles, chopped at towards Liskey. To open space, out of reach of Temple, lifting the stick is Kaplan, unable to win it away from Volotovsky. And the Tigers have some room to hold. Van Mulligan, 19-year-old Medhat native, gets it out to center. And Bear over to his left, Rhineland Pierce. Sent into the near side corner, out of reach of Ward. Now pulls it to his backhand. Ward has it stationary in the blue paint. Still loose out underneath Sanch. Jabbing at it in the top of the key. And Sanch flops on top of it. No whistle blown yet. Now it will finally signal play dead. Silvertips irate as they feel that Sanch had that covered for a long time before the whistle finally blew. Ryland Pierce will have a chat with the folks in stripes, but nevertheless, whistle blows and Sanch protective of the puck. And we welcome everyone from the YouTube chat watching on Wednesday night in the dub. We've asked for questions throughout the third. A question from Brady Films asks, what's going on? Hockey's going on, Brady. Thanks for checking in. Draw to the right of Jesse Sanch. It is Ward on the dot opposite Cole Temple. Won by Medhat, pushed over to the far side point. Väisänen poking it over to the far wall. Landon DuPont picking it up for the Silvertips. Intended for Heslop out of his reach. Tipped on its way down, so no icing on the play. To the near point, DuPont chased out to center. And DuPont flicks it towards the net. It sticks down by Van Mulligan. Long pass off the twig in the neutral zone of Ritchie and around behind the Silvertip net. DuPont to Jameson. Sliding it to Raymond up ahead with speed. Raymond backhands it far corner. Bouncing off a hit. Pickford pokes it to the far wall. Ritchie will take. A spring looking for McKenna on the left wing. Takes it on the backhand from Terrence Smith. And Smith hard around the boards. Menegin will stymie for the Tigers. Lifts it up into the air, and Menegin sent that clean into the stands. I believe this is going to be a delay of game on the netminder. How often do you see that? Not very. And now the Tigers are going to have to pick someone from the bench to go serve the delay of game. And the Tigers goaltender will be hit with an infraction. Make him serve. As Ritchie heads to the box, the Silvertips will get a power play. McKenzie with Bear, Raymond, DuPont, and Smith. 4 minutes into the third period. Tips back on the Engineered Sports power play. They are 3 for 3. Or excuse me, they are 0 for 3, but they did score soon after that third power play expired. A faceoff won by the Tigers and quickly rifled out into the neutral zone where Terrence Smith will glove it down. Smith over to his right, DuPont. Trying to cut around Ward. He does. Nice play to his left. McKenzie squares and shoots it wide. Carter Bear on the sharp angle. Bear out in front. Tapped and a save by Menegin. Rebound out behind the net. Thrown in front by Bear and no one home. Ooh, Bear was looking for a lane to try to get it to the near side post as Menegin was without his stick. The net was vacated for a moment. Weisblatt on with McKenna for the kill forwards, and look out, McKenna just stole it. Here's McKenna breaking in shorthand, and McKenna scores his second shorty of the game. Gavin McKenna signals to the Silvertip crowd. It is 5-2 Medicine Hat. Well, Gavin McKenna had acknowledged the noise in U.S. Division Barnes in a pregame chat with Cami Kepke from the WHL, saying he fed off that energy. He liked the noise the Barnes bring. Angel of the Winds Arena was voted by WHL players as the toughest building to play in the league. And McKenna stripping the puck in the neutral zone in a foot race. Burns into the offensive end. He's got his second of the night. For McKenna, his 24th of the season. And believe it or not, those are his first two shorties of the season. Hard to believe. Jameson in his own end. Over to his left for Jesse Heslop. Unassisted is McKenna's goal. It is now 5-2 with a minute left in the power play. And a period that got off on the right foot for the Silvertips has taken a sour turn. Over to the near wall, back to Temple. Temple at the center of the blue line, nudges to Chasko, backhanding, looking for Hamill. It's off a leg and forced back out to center. Chasko crosses for Jameson. 45 ticks remaining in the penalty. Heslop crossing the slot, picked off. And another one-on-one rush, this time for Matthew Ward up against Jameson. Ward cutting to his left, and Ward forced into the near side corner. Loops it around the boards. Temple will hold at his own blue line. Sets the table for Heslop through the neutral zone. Heslop leaves it for Temple, gliding into the far corner. Back to Hamill, couldn't handle it cleanly. 20 seconds remaining in the power play. And the Silvertips will hit the reset button. Tips will get a unit change as Spitz is on with Schaefer and Temple. Pass past Schaefer down the ice. Icing is called with 6 seconds left in the penalty. Being served by Ryder Ritchie. Well, 2 shorthanded goals scored by Gavin McKenna. And McKenna is one of the most skilled players in the world. I think he's been on the radar for a lot of years. You can think back to the season opener of the 2022-23 season where he had 4 assists, skating as a 14-year-old in the WHL. Had 6 multi-point games and 16 WHL appearances, then went back to Saha U18. The end of that season at the Canada Winter Games, he had 31 points in 7 games for Team Yukon. He is someone that has been long on the pro scouts' radar, simply salivating for the chance to get him, not in this year's draft, but in next year's draft, as in late 07 birth year. Face-off won by the Silvertips. Caden Hamill around Weisblatt into the offensive end as we are back to even strength. And the Silvertips now -2 for 4 on the power play today. Here's Raymond, one-handing it into the near side corner, pressing against Van Mulligan, coughed up for Schaefer, far corner. Schaefer spins it towards the net, high off the glass. Jameson backhands it behind the end line. Raymond pursues. Raymond out to Pierce at the far point. Pierce sends it towards the net, blocked in front by Van Mulligan. McKenzie gets it back. Worked along the boards. Schaefer to the near post. Raymond towards the net, reaching for it. Mennigan, it's swept away by McKenna. And McKenna battles through the stick of both Raymond and Schaefer, moves it over to his left for Muhonen. Into the Silvertips end. 6:50 gone by in the third period. 5-2 is your score in favor of Medicine Hat as Heslop over stick handled the puck, stolen away by Medicine Hat. Weisblatt into the near side corner. Along the near wall, gestured back to the blue line for Wu. He reverses behind the Silvertip net as Temple throws his weight into a check on Ethan Newtons, a former teammate of Eric Jameson's at Edge Prep back in 21-22 at the U18 level. Newtons pulls the puck away, sets it out to the circles, a shot, they score! Jonas Wu sneaks it past the right leg of Sanch, and the Tigers, fully in the driver's seat, lead at 6-2. Well, it's a board battle win in the far corner where Ethan Newtons, 6'4", 205, able to match up favorably against Jameson, who is 6'3", 204. Wins it away, carries behind the net, and sets up Wu for the one-timer for Jonas Wu. It is his 9th tally of the year, and I think that's perhaps the most telling sign for this Medicine Hat team is that it's not just the stars making things happen. It is the depth pieces, all 4 lines, as Marcus Ruck lifts it into the near side corner. Medicine Hat has embraced the spotlight in a major way as Terrence Smith lifts it into the near side corner wide of the net. Kane Wilkie lugs it over to the far wall, harangued from behind by Schaefer Gordon Carroll, pushed out to center. Terrence Smith retreating 8 minutes into the third. On the left wing, lowering the shoulder, Liam Ruck, joined by St. Martin. St. Martin curling with it near corner. Sends it into the skates of Jackson Vaughn, held by DuPont, crossing over for Terrence Smith. And Smith up ice for Shea Bush. Intercepted at the Medicine Hat blue line, lifted up into the air, and then DuPont chops at it. Matthew Ward unable to hold the line, poked out to center, looking for Tyler McKenzie. Chris crosses with Bush. McKenzie to his left, hits the brakes, working against Weissenen, finds Hamill at the circles. Hamill with a wrister seen all the way by Mennigan. 8:45 into the third. 6-2 Tigers will take a media timeout. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube.
Get ready for a heart-pounding night of thrills as Nelson Motorsports presents Extreme International Ice Racing at Angel of the Winds Arena on Saturday, February 8th. Experience the adrenaline rush as fearless riders race head-to-head on ice with no brakes, no gears, and no fears. Don't miss out on the action-packed event that will have you on the edge of your seat. Tickets on sale now at the Angel of the Winds Arena box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
It's the most important document you'll ever hold. When people read it for the first time and start asking questions, they're usually shocked, in disbelief. For example, this evening, homemade meatloaf dinner, just like Mom used to make, with garlic toast and your choice of 2 sides. Just $11.99. Yes, it's hard to believe, but seeing is believing. So head to one of the 12 Buzz-In steakhouses. Once you see their menu and taste their food, you'll smile from ear to ear. BuzzInSteakhouse.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. The Silvertips trailing the Medicine Hat Tigers 6-2. We have a chat full of eager Medicine Hat fans and some Silvertip fans as well. Special shout out to Scott Lumen and his wife in the chat, watching from Lake Stevens. Shout out to them. Sarah, Shea Bush on the right side. Keep your questions coming, and during the intermissions, we'll take a look as McKenzie over to his left finds his way around a defender. Tyler McKenzie wraparound try save. Rebound is loose in front, and Raymond shoves it wide. Jameson's shot from the boards deflects up into the netting and out of play. We're cycling through some of the questions here. One of them from Cal Connor. Are you related to Will Bryant, voice of the Tigers? No, but having met Will for the first time prior to the game, I can tell you that Medicine Hat fans are in great hands with Will. Very eager, put in his time with the Victoria Royals the last couple of seasons. I remember having passing interactions with him when he would work some color with Marlon Martins for the Royals, but Will Bryant doing an excellent job in his first season in Medicine Hat. So welcome to the league, Will. Cleared out to the neutral zone and held on by Matthew Ward, curling with the puck. Ward, one of the trade acquisitions back in May from Swift Current, and he's turned out very well for the Medicine Hat Tigers. 33 points in 44 games played. He's brought a physical edge. He's won face-offs, can do a little bit of everything. Lucas Kaplan across rink, off the skates of Vaughn. Terrence Smith around the boards, past Mennigan. Out to the far point, Hamill cuts to his backhand. Taking the step up and stealing it away off the skates of McCann. Racing forward out in front of the Silvertip bench, Jesse Heslop for Caden Hamill. In his own end, halfway through the third period. Stretch pass looking for Heslop, slows up, looking to feed Temple, pushes off the end wall. And it is held onto by Niilo-Pekka Muhonen. A Kuopio, Finland native. Out to neutral zone. Temple angling it off the boards. Cut off by Muhonen. Crossing over to his Finnish countryman in Väisänen, and around behind the net, Carter Bear over on the left wing, wrapped up by Väisänen. Bear has it in his skate, stolen away by Medicine Hat. Ryland Pierce stepping forward and cleared out to center. And Breck Liskey will pursue. It is Clark Schaefer. Schaefer through the neutral zone. Schaefer on the right wing, thrown towards the slot, intercepted and carried away by Bryce Pickford out to the neutral zone. And it is Marcus Ruck pushing it in. Marcus Ruck, the 16-year-old from British Columbia, playing with his twin brother Liam, both taken in the first round in 2023. Liam taking the pick before the Silvertips were able to snag Breck Liskey in that draft as a long shot is sent into the near corner. And then Marcus Ruck was the pick after the Silvertips took Kane Wilkie. So both Medicine Hat and Everett had 2 first-rounders in that draft class. Held in their own end, Bryce Pickford, crossing over for Jonas Wu. And Wu up the right side, hitting Gavin McKenna, who's got 2 tonight. Drops it for Weisblatt, right wing, crossing for McKenna, just out of his reach. Gavin McKenna to the blue line, lost his footing, finds it to Molendijk near point. Molendijk's shot is blocked in front and hit off the legs of DuPont. DuPont lofts it up into the air and clears it out to the neutral zone. Van Mulligan pursued by Raymond with 8 minutes left in the third. And this will be icing against the Medicine Hat Tigers with 8 minutes flat remaining in the third period. You know, there are a couple of questions going on about the health of some of the players on either side, and I think one of the commonalities is talking about, you know, some of the missing players. Very easy to point to players up on the press row as I see some discourse on injuries in the chat, and it's never an excuse, and I think the players and the coaches would both acknowledge that no matter the circumstance, Silvertips, yes, are missing some big guns, but they will be back in the coming weeks as Hamill starts forward. But the Medicine Hat Tigers, unsympathetic, given that they have been without Lindstrom all year and Basha for a significant portion of the season and will be without Basha for a pretty lengthy amount of time still. Here's Smith at the far point, squares to the net, and that misses wide off the glass. So the Silvertips will be getting back Zach Shantz, Julius Miettinen, and Austin Roost, who was returned from the NHL and will continue to rehab and is expected to be back week to week. The Tips are on the road, and we may be eyeing a mid to late February return for Roost if everything goes well. Here's Spitz on the left wing, dropping back to Smith. Of course, that's all dependent on what the Nashville Predators and their doctors see in the recovering Roost. On the right wing, it is McKenna shaking forward. Throwing it towards the slot, stepping forward is Muhonen, unable to get a shot towards the net, picked up by Jesse Heslop. It is Terrence Smith across the red line, flipping it into the far side corner. Pile up, stolen by the Tigers on the right wing. Pacheco, who scored back in the first period, gave the Tigers the lead that they have not relinquished. St. Martin can't get around Pierce. Trailing chance by Pacheco is turned away by Sanch. 6:40 left in the third period. Errant pass by the Silvertips is won by Pacheco in the near corner. Tapped in front of the Silvertip cage, and Ryland Pierce will skate it away. Out towards the Medicine Hat blue line. Pickford ahead for Volotovsky. Volotovsky to the net and a save made by Sanch. 6:21 left in the third period. 6-2 Tigers. We'll take our final media timeout. Sound Transit Tips Hockey and Wednesday night in the dub on YouTube. You're listening to Everett Silvertips Hockey.
Craving the taste of Port of Subs? Whether you're powering through work or in the middle of a game, get the fast track to flavor with our easy online delivery. Fresh baked bread with premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggie toppings, and savory sauces. You'll never have to leave your zone. Get the Port of Subs taste you crave. Order online at portofsubs.com or download the Port of Subs app today for easy ordering, Port Perks rewards, and freshness at your fingertips.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Charge up and save. Helping our customers save energy and money has always been a driver for us at your PUD. Now more than ever, we want to make your money go further. Get instant rebates on energy-saving home upgrades like heat pumps, electric hybrid water heaters, and smart thermostats to help keep your home comfy year-round. Set your cruise control to lower bills and connect to save money and energy with your trusted partners at Snohomish PUD.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network and on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube. And we thank everyone for sticking around as the Medicine Hat Tigers have taken a commanding 6-2 lead here at Angel of the Winds Arena. Kane Wilkie on the left wing side in front of the penalty box doors. Jostling puck, and Landon DuPont is back to retrieve. Out to the neutral zone, held by DuPont, up ice, trying to thread the needle to Wilkie. It's over his stick, and that's icing against the tips. So we're continuing to take questions from the YouTube chat, trying to take advantage of the interactivity of the YouTube format, and why not? A question I see here from John Abrams. If Everett is the loudest barn in the U.S. division, is Spokane the next loudest? Spokane does have excellent atmosphere. I think Spokane is great, and I think Kent, much as it pains Everett fans to hear, Kent does have a lively, rowdy atmosphere in their building. I think Portland brings good juice. All of the U.S. division, honestly, brings some pretty good juice. So I think that it's hard to find a U.S. division barn that doesn't deliver on the noise. I admire that a great deal about all 6 buildings in the U.S. division. So thanks for the question. Keep them coming. In their own zone, 5:45 left. Here's Tanner Molendijk on the left wing side. Molendijk shot off the glass, and Eric Jameson moving over to the far corner. Out to the far point, kept in by Josh Van Mulligan, who came up through Saha with Gavin McKenna, amongst many others. Andrew Basha also on that squad back when Van Mulligan was the captain in 21-22. Shea Bush redirects it into the near corner. A lot of Saha products come to the Medicine Hat Tigers, too. It's one of those schools where they love to draw from. Here's McKenzie working it around behind the net. Tyler McKenzie, one of those Saha products, of course. Shea Bush looking for Hamill out of his reach at the near point of self-clearance as we have reached the Plumbing Physician final 5 minutes of play here in regulation time. The Plumbing Physician is proudly family-owned and delivering excellence since '96. In the neutral zone, it's Ozzie Weisblatt dropping it back to McKenna. Weisblatt got to watch. Gosh, I think I just called him Ozzie. His name's Oasis. He got to see his brother Ozzie make his NHL debut for the Nashville Predators earlier this season. Got ahead of myself there mentally. Into the near side corner, it's funneled in, and Oasis Weisblatt into the near corner. Out towards the slot, McKenna waits, and he scores. Gavin McKenna completes the Hattie, and the Tigers lead it 7-2. Gavin McKenna, who had a hat trick back on November the 30th at home against the Calgary Hitmen, picks up his second hat trick of the season. And the reigning Jim Piggott WHL Rookie of the Year and CHL Rookie of the Year has delivered in anticipation of coming against the Silvertips in his first and potentially only trip through the States. Boy, is he every bit as advertised. 7 goals on 22 shots. And a conversation ongoing right now as the officiating crew huddling all together, just confirming all the scoring. One would imagine not much to look at on that play. And so the Tigers in the driver's seat, fully in a great position to improve to 4-0 on this U.S. Division swing. Cole Temple lowering his shoulder, trying to cut to the slot. Now, the Everett Silvertips had entered into this contest the number 1 seed in the WHL Power Rankings, number 2 in the CHL Top 10. The Tigers were number 3 in the WHL and number 9 in the CHL Top 10. One would imagine as Bear enters in 2-on-1, Bear trying to drag the toe, it's poked away. A nice effort diving headlong on the back check there. That was Jonas Wu marking Carter Bear. One would imagine that the Tigers will find themselves surging up those rankings as they've been playing some excellent hockey. Here's a lead pass for Heslop, just offsides. As he tried to break in, was cherry picking a bit at the blue line and just a hair ahead of the play. And as we take another look, we thank all of those from YouTube and tuning in for Wednesday night in the Dub. Virtual hats getting tossed in for Gavin McKenna. And it is Clark Schaefer poking it out to the neutral zone and into the Everett attacking end where Van Mulligan. A lead pass up the right side intended for Marcus Ruck is out of his reach. And Molendyke will try it again from his own zone. Molendyke, a 4-point game in his final appearance as a Saskatoon Blade, and then ripped off a 4-game point streak to start off his Medicine Hat Tiger career. Check that, a 6-game point streak. And on his way out, Colin Priestner from the Saskatoon Blade says no one will ever wear the number 24 as a Saskatoon Blade again. High praise for one of the best defenders to come through the Saskatoon organization. And they've had plenty of NHL talent funnel through. In the neutral zone, Dominic Raymond holding 2:45 left. An interception is picked off by Liam Ruck. Liam Ruck, who had a goal and assist in his WHL debut back in November of 2023, part of the bright future for the Medicine Hat Tigers, who have built for a winning team this year, next, and potentially the year after. And this is icing against the Medicine Hat Tigers, against the Everett Silvertips, and the faceoff will come back down into their own zone. Question here from a user, Carter, here saying, do you believe the Tips and Chiefs will meet in the playoffs, and if so, how long the series will be? I hope that's a 21-game series, because boy, have they played some entertaining games in the regular season series. Faceoff won by the Tigers and a shot blocker save by Sanch. Like Catton and Crystal make for a dynamic duo. If they do meet as it stands right now, it would be in the third round of the playoffs, as the Royals lead the BC division, and as such, they are the 2 seed in the Western Conference. Spokane is the 3. And if you were just to assume that Chalk wins, which obviously you never assume, as Marcus Ruck backhands it towards the net and it's blocked. Out towards the high slot, settled by Pickford, a shot that's blocked in front, and Spitz trying to escape. The only way they would meet is in the third round, and the Tips have a long road to get there. The Silvertips haven't seen the third round since 2018, when they beat the Tri-City Americans in 6 games, where they eventually met the Swift Current Broncos in the final, and the Broncos won that series in 6. If you flash it back all the way to 2004, the Tigers swept the Silvertips in the Silvertips' first season, reaching all the way to the Ed Chenoweth Cup final, and the Tigers loaded with talent that year, 2 shutouts in that finals. Minute 20 to go in regulation, Eric Jameson carries in. And boy, was that a terrific series for Kevin Nastiuk, who posted 2 shutouts and just had 3 goals slip by him in 4 games. And that team, of course, was still coached by Willie Desjardins. And he has been through a lot in Medicine Hat. As Heslop sets up the one-timer, they score. Cole Temple blasts it over the shoulder of Harrison Mennigan, and the Silvertips, with 53 seconds left, will make it a 7-3 game. Cole Temple fields the pass from the corner. Blasts it over the left shoulder of Mennigan, and Cole Temple now has 8 goals and 20 points in 22 games played as an Everett Silvertip. .53 seconds left in regulation time. And a faceoff is won by Medicine Hat. Round behind the Everett net, Clark Schaefer on the right wing, and a gut check of a game for the Everett Silvertips as Liskey works his way in. He takes a hit from behind. And the Tips have a 3-3 to prepare for this weekend. Friday night they will be in Kelowna. Saturday they are home against the Spokane Chiefs. And Sunday they are home against the Kamloops Blazers. Saturday is the Great Small Dog Races. So that'll be one of the more fun events in Everett. Always one of my favorites, as here's an unencumbered chance for Volotovsky that's worn by Liskey in the shins. And the final seconds will tick away. A definitive victory for the Medicine Hat Tigers. 7-3 Wednesday night in the dub goes to the way of MedHat. They improved to 32, 15-2 on the season. They extend their winning streak to 11 games. They come into Angel of the Winds Arena and improve to 4-0 on their U.S. Division swing. The Silvertips, meanwhile, will give their head a shake down the tunnel as they are now 34, 7-7 this season, 75 points, still atop the Western Hockey League, but a rude awakening from their foes in the Eastern Conference, as the Tigers have taken this one 7-3. Back in a minute to recount all the scoring action. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube.
Suffering with knee pain? Visit Dr. Gill and team at Symmetria Integrative Medical in Marysville, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County. Dr. Gill and team treat patients for knee pain and arthritis, helping you avoid painful knee surgery. You might be a candidate for stem cell therapy, so schedule an appointment today at 360-659-6554 or visit online symmetriamedical.com. Symmetria Integrative Medical, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County.
We're Judd & Black. For over 80 years, we've been your locally owned and family-operated appliance store. Shopping here is just different. You see, it starts with our appliance experts, who are experienced in jobs of all sizes. So if you're remodeling your kitchen and looking for luxury, or shopping for an entire apartment building and need durability, our team is trained to find the appliances you need at competitive prices. Judd & Black, your hometown appliance store. Online at juddblack.com.
Looking for new furniture? There's always a great selection at Erickson's. New styles, new colors, new looks, and always affordable prices. Erickson Furniture has just what you're looking for. In stock and on sale. Name brand furniture and mattresses, design services, and 5-star delivery. Let Erickson Furniture help you get the look you want for less, a lot less. Erickson Furniture in Everett at 2015 Broadway and online at ericksonfurniture.com.
We're proud to announce Kelly Create is one of our game day sponsors. Cyber attacks can sneak up on you like a blindside check from a goon, aiming to knock your teeth out and leaving you staring at the roof of the barn. Let's not let that happen. For IT, cybersecurity, and all your technology needs, let Kelly Create help you get back to running the business you set out to run in the first place. Visit us at KELLEY create.com.
Now it's the Postgame Show, sponsored by Tulalip Resort Casino, on your station for Sound Transit Everett Silvertips Hockey, KRKO AM 1380 and FM 95.3. Everett's greatest hits, sports, and more.
The Everett Silvertips fall to the Medicine Hat Tigers 7-3. Hearty cowbells of appreciation shown to the 3 stars of the game, all from Medicine Hat. 3rd star with 2 assists, Hunter St. Martin. 2nd star with 2 assists, Tanner Mollendijk. 1st star with a hat trick and an assist, Gavin McKenna with a 4-point outing. Gavin McKenna has been unbelievable this season. His 27th multi-point appearance, and his umpteenth one that seems to include 3 or more points. And he does damage in his only trip to Everett and expected in his WHL career. And we'll take you through the scoring summary presented by Mountain Pacific Bank. It started off on a high note for the Silvertips. 9-12 into the first. Carter Bear was able to bury the game's first goal, his 33rd of the season. And it will be stolen back by Schaefer Gordon Carroll and skied into the air. Look out, breakout for Heslop. He's in with Bear. Bear in front, stopped short, and he scores! Carter Bear tucks it home in the crease, and the Silvertips have struck first. Medicine Hat would respond at 17:03 in the first period. Schaefer Gordon Carroll